Hello, friends, and welcome to today's episode of Express Lane, the show that brings you speedruns in 60 minutes or less. I'm your host, Oscar424, with occasional guest appearances from my co-hosts, Freya, who's right there, and Galahad, who has loafed away on his little twig legs because they're like this big. Anyway, but before I go into the awesome absolutely set of banger games we have coming on, I just wanted to, give a quick shout out and thank you to everyone that's been supporting GDQ Hotfix with all of your subs, your regular subs, your Prime Gaming subs, your gift subs, and any of the bits you have, the contributions. Those are what help keep shows like Express Lane and Heroes running. So if you're enjoying this stream, which looking at these games you're going to, and you're not subscribed yet, consider subscribing. And you can get exclusive emotes, you can get ad-free viewing, you can get access to the chat during replays, and you can also always support the stream by sharing the Games Done Quick channel with your friends, because we always love having more friends on here. But that said, looking at the schedule, you'll notice a trend. We've got role-playing games, and last time I looked at my watch, role-playing games usually don't finish within an hour. Well, these do. So we've got some really cool RPGs on the schedule, and if you're curious on this schedule more, head on over to GDQ.GG/GG/Hotfix so you can look at this week's schedule, these games, and our full season lineup. So as I was saying, role-playing games, I was menuing because I'm not very good at menuing, so that's why I was taking some time there. But we've got games all across the board here. We've got Neutopia that we're ending up with. We've got this wonderful game that is just awesome called Cthulhu Saves Christmas, because when I think of saving Christmas, I think of Cthulhu 100%. We've got the return of Chrono Trigger. Our friend Silent Martyr is back for round 2 with Silent Martyr versus the internet, and this time Silent Martyr will win, I can guarantee it. But the first game on this list, straight up, if you haven't played it yet, please do. Just know that your heart is going to get ripped out of you and put into a wood chipper, because it is absolutely amazing. It's a game that I currently run and is super cool, but I'm not running it here. Avukamu is running it here. And that's going to be Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and we are doing Act 1 any percent. So, Avu, are you ready to suffer through RNG?
If I must. I mean, it's always a marathon showing, so the worst RNG is possibly going to happen, right?
Right.
What can happen in a marathon will absolutely
happen.
In a marathon. Yep.
But yeah, and I've noticed we have a friend with us who has their own hand, his own hand in the Expedition 33 runs.
That's true. I've worked so hard on the Autosplitter side of things. It's been a lot of work and still ongoing at the moment. So this run is constantly shaping up in so many ways. Karma can talk about that a lot in a second as well. So this run is something special though, isn't it?
Oh, I was talking about that awesome auto splitter you made.
Yeah. The load removal, the auto splitting.
Yep.
I'm working on like any percent splitting. There's just so much going on for it. So,
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Nico, Abu, if you two are ready to go, we can all cry together.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll skip through the cutscene. So timer begins when I hit apply. We're going to be running this on story. There's no difference between story and expedition in terms of the enemy HPs, attacks, and whatnot. It just enables the parry window to be slightly faster. So as opposed to 125 milliseconds, it's 250 milliseconds of a time frame. So whenever we're ready in 3, 2, 1.
Good luck.
Yeah, I know. So Clair Obscur, to explain the gameplay a little bit, this game is pretty much a turn-based RPG, JRPG. Well, not a JRPG, it is a JRPG made by Sandfall Interactive.
The jokes have started already, let's go.
Absolutely, let's go. But what the gameplay is...
Are we getting a crit?
Yeah. Are we getting a crit is always the question we have. But to describe the gameplay, it is a turn-based Dark Souls. And what I mean by turn-based Dark Souls is your turn. It's a very traditional turn-based game. Skills, shooting, attacking, trying to do combos, enemy weaknesses, and whatnot. But this game has a Dark Souls feature, which is parrying. You can parry the enemy's attack on the other turn. And that's slightly a bit more complicated because when you don't take any damage in a boss fight, you get 20% bonus XP, which, as you can tell for a speedrun, in which we're under-leveled, is very important. So I'll just kind of show you what it looks like. It's very beautiful. Like I said, if you haven't played this game, please play it. We're just going to start off with the basic attack.
Oh, I am so jealous already.
We're going to parry. So now we have an AP bar at the bottom. If you shoot, it depletes your AP as well. So some enemies do multi-hits. You can counter, you can dodge, or if you suck, you get hit. And if you don't if you don't parry every single one of the enemy's hits, you will not be able to counter. So it is essential that you parry every single part of their hit, which for the early bosses is not that bad. But towards the later end, some bosses hit you 25 times in a row. It is bam, 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 bam. Like, it gets really bad. But Nico, would you like to explain a little bit of the setting for us?
Of course. Now that we've gone over the mechanics, let's talk about the game. So, the TLDR, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 takes place in a surreal, dreamlike world inspired by Belle Epoque in France, which this area is now known as Lumiere, where society lives in fear of a recurring phenomenon known as the Gamage, which is a ritual carried out by a powerful entity known as the Paintress every year on the dot. When the ritual first started, the number painted on a big monolith was the number 100, and every year the painted number goes down, and then every person whose age matches that number is immediately erased from existence, threatening humanity with eventual extinction. Right now, we're playing as Gustav, who's the soon-to-be captain of Expedition 33, as per the name, Expedition 33, which the expeditions are special units formed to confront the Paintress and to try to stop the Gamage and the Paintress. And Gustav, who was an engineer, who had dedicated his life to the city's defense and agricultural systems. So as we went down that little beam of light, we went to meet with a lovely lady called Sophie, who was Gustav's former girlfriend / ex-flame. And we get to explore more of Lumiere's festival, which we're here right now, which is essentially the send-off before the eventual Gamage occurs, which is a cutscene that we do skip. But I would urge you, if you are going to play this game, watch that cutscene. It is harrowingly, beautifully, saddening, all the emotions inclined. It's the thing that sets off the tonality of this whole game, genuinely.
It's like every cutscene, it's beautiful sadness.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
And I said it before to Matt. I said it before to my viewers, but genuinely, the introduction to this game is probably one of the best introductions to any modern game in the last 20, 30 years. It is on par, if not better, than The Last of Us 1's introduction. It is very, very good.
Yeah.
It's a comparative, for sure. At this point right now, this was just after the Gamage bit, so we're kind of like getting ourselves prepped and ready just before we start to go on the expedition. We get to talk with Mayel, who needs a little bit of a friendly chat after, not just her, but everybody else. Like, they've just lost loads of friends, loads of familiar people, family. And Mayel's a little bit like, that 1,000-yard stare, just kind of like contemplating life. We get to talk to some of Gustav's apprentices over here who give him a little journal, just to be able to take some good logs of all the eventual things that will happen in the expedition. We then get to meet with Gustav's sister, which is Emma, who is kind of like doing the speech before everybody else goes, the kind of like the war speech. Everybody, yeah, let's go. Everybody's happy, maybe.
Surely all 30 expeditioners return, right?
Absolutely. Totally, yeah. Yeah.
So we're going to be skipping a cutscene right here, and what happens is that we manage to land on the beach of what is known as the continent. Things do not go right. As we land on the beach, the expedition gets ambushed by a violent and overwhelming attack from a gentleman who is ominous looking, and it goes into a chaotic and erratic black and white scene. And then after the chaos, Gustav wakes up by himself. Like, everybody else is kind of like been thrown into different parts of the continent, and now we got to try and find everybody and proceed further towards the monolith.
Yeah, we have a couple of tutorial battles. Yeah, we have a couple of tutorial battles, but the nice way of saying, the blunt way of saying what Nico was saying was they all dead except me, because I'm the main character.
You can go very meta and say it's okay. Daredevil was able to survive Gollum's attack. If you know, you know.
That works, yeah. It checks out.
I haven't seen the new Daredevil, so I didn't know it was Gustav. And my chat when I was streaming, they're like, "Oh, I didn't know Daredevil did this." So I was like, "Why are they talking about Marvel? Right. What's going on?" I didn't say anything because I didn't want to be rude. You know, everyone's like, "Oh, Daredevil this, Daredevil that," and I was like, "We."
Oh, French humor.
Yes.
So the nice things about these little tutorial battles is that we're kind of getting more introduced in towards the different level of combating as well. So each kind of a new enemy is going to be presenting a new technique. For example, we got some different flying enemies as the Velestas, which basically you can't easily attack. They will be very quick to dodge. So you want to try to shoot them down more than other enemies. More enemies will have more presentable sort of like highlighted parts of their body that you want to shoot to stun them. Each enemy has like its own like unique trait, basically.
This is supposed to introduce us to the AoE attacks and elemental weaknesses, but you know it's a speedrun. We don't got time for tutorials.
And Lune as well. And we have a new
That's true.
we have our mage. It's fine.
Yeah, Lune is as per your typical elemental mage in your turn-based RPG games. She's also the best character in the game. I will not be accepting any criticisms on Lune.
Stairs in Manoka. He's got some of the best lines.
SK, excuse me, SK.
Oh yeah, we have to protect our rotund son.
I just keep on thinking of SK as like the Clair Obscur's, Sonic's, Big the Cat, because they're so similar.
Just remember, sometimes you go wee, sometimes you go woo.
Time for swim.
The first time I heard Esky, I actually thought it was Javier Bardem, like really happy for some reason. I was just like, why's Javier Bardem in this game?
Also, I see that comment in chat about the only up % speed run at some point. It's like, oh,
never. Yeah. I'm gonna phrase it once right now. Jumping in this game is rough. I have raged more at the jumping in this game for the skips than I have playing only up. If that gives any retrospect of how rough the jumping is in this game.
I mean, like with some of the kind of like the movement tech that you have to do in this game in the first place to be able to just like stop you like mid roll as well, like it is really challenging the movement. So Adrian will be showing that off a little bit later for some of the out of bounds that we're going to be doing. So I know that some of the other chatters were saying like this game has a run already. Just wait. Just wait.
No, this is just a casual playthrough.
Yeah, until we get to Flying Waters, this is. Things aren't silly yet.
Yeah. Kind of to explain another simple mechanic of the game. So we have weapons that we can equip, but we also have something called pictos. Pictos canonically work as your typical charms, artifacts, and you can equip up to 3 of them for battle. There is kind of a passive system as well, but it doesn't really apply to Act 1 because you don't do enough battles for the passives to apply. But pictos are canonically tattoos you put on. So fun fact, Lune and Gustav are the only 2 people that put tattoos on their body. Everyone else puts it on their weapon.
Yeah. That's true.
Coming up to my favorite part. I mean,
Flares.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Let me explain this in the nicest way I can. This is... Oh man, if this was an unfiltered stream, I would have every other word would be getting censored about this boss. But let me explain this boss as nice as we can. Because in your typical RPG, we don't have access to a lot of skills and don't really have a lot of, necessities we need to do damage in the beginning. So this boss is very fickle. And what I mean by fickle is You need him to attack the right target. You need to crit. You need to not get him too low. You need to not over crit. You need to not over damage. You need to not under damage him. And you need him to target Gustav with the right set of attacks. It's a mess. I'll let you guys talk. Have fun with this.
Yep.
It really is a hot mess.
It's on the first boss alone, there is a 2-minute discrepancy. And it's a brilliant start.
Here we go.
Yeah. Right. So FQ is a super RNG heavy boss and one of the most volatile fights at the beginning of an 80% run. For the following reasons, there's a very fine threshold of HP that Avil can be in before he enters his shield phase, in which he just puts a lot of shields on him, and you have to send a load of your AP to try to get down those shields. And if you're out of the kill range, it's just not going to go well. The goal is for Avo to try to get the multi-hit attack to hit Gustav as much as possible, so that we not only get AP, but also puts charges onto the overcharge. You can see that 310 in the bottom right of Gustav. That's now 4. That is the charges towards the overcharge. On top of that, you want him targeting Gustav as opposed to Lune with the correct attacks as well. The difference between the good and the bad EverQ can be up to 2 minutes, as Avu said. We want EverQ to get to around 35 to 40% of their HP. I think it was 33% actually. And Gustav to have 10 charges and enough AP to cast overcharge. There's so much to say about this one.
Yeah, it's wild. It's like the fact that you've seen multiple crits in this fight, usually you're like, okay, this is a good thing. Not so much with this fight. Because you are walking a very fine line with HP here.
I think I have to skip my turn with Lune. He might. I mean, I might have crit too much, which there's a lot of things I could do about it.
He's summoning the 2 spears now, which I believe this is just over 33% old. Hold.
I think you're good.
We're good.
For those who come after,
come on.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
2 minutes time save.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much the second best cycle. The first best cycle saves 20 seconds on this, but the odds of it happening is like less than 10% chance, and it's like a very specific set of conditions.
I don't know about you, but that's probably like the most terrifying spot. Is, do I see shields and reset, or do I continue?
I was kind of scared. No, I thought I saw the first crit and I said, yay, crit. And then I saw the second crit and I was like, yay, crit. And then I saw the third and fourth crit and I was like, stop critting, guys. Don't be rash.
It is.
It's like the meme of stop hitting yourself, but it's stop critting yourself.
It's like stop letting me do well in this fight, please. Like, don't get me wrong, we all love this speedrun. Like, it is so fun, but that fight,
If you are doing an Act 1 speedrun, you are probably resetting there 50% of the time. Assuming you're going for like a world record time, you are probably resetting there 50% of the time.
Righty, so we are in the continent sort of area now. So after we've left that was Spring Meadows we have to kind of camp for a second as well, which the camp is kind of like sometimes a conditional thing to unlock a certain map. We got to try to talk to our friends just to see how they are, and then sleep, and then we can go to the next area into Flying Waters. This is where the fun begins. Really does.
Would you like to explain wrong warping? And I believe our lovely tech on staff has a hand-drawn painting of me that I've made to demonstrate what the tech looks like. But Nico, would you like to care to explain?
Sure thing. Here we go. So to do like no warping / wrong warping, we have to set up a base save, and then we got to try to reach a second new autosave. We then want to try to go back to the base save and load the second, in this case here, we need to try to load a second autosave that has Mayel. Then as the game transitions into a new save, anything you interact with will carry over as the data is already read. So Karma's going to need to interact with the camp as the game is transitioning, so that there's a final product in a miscellaneous location, which is then followed by a load that has Mayel. But since we've interacted with the base save outside, we are able to skip leaving the manor, which we have to go into in the first place, which will also skip a boss fight, which is the curator. Does that make sense? Just look at the image, it's easier.
Just look at the image.
Yeah, just don't worry about what I said, just look at the image, easy.
It took me 2 minutes to make that. I worked really hard on it, guys. No criticisms, please. I might cry.
Oh, and the big thing about these wrong warps is when you activate the flag, if you don't activate the flag before you activate the save, you lose the ability to autosave until you restart the game again. Not that I didn't know that when I first started trying doing wrong warps and going, why can't I save anymore?
Don't worry, I still can't even do it, so I still gotta learn.
It's 90% doing it, and then once you do it, it kind of just clicks the moment you do one.
So this is where things are going to start looking a little strange. Everything's fine.
Yeah, so before I do that, though, I promised you guys something.
Oh!
Did you find
Oh, yeah.
So
yes.
you heard us talk about a party member, Monaco. Monaco is actually named after one of the company's employees, their emotional support dog, one of the best characters. So to commemorate him, they added a secret room for him. And here we go.
He's the best boy. Doggo.
Cute boy.
Here in Express Lane, it's always dogs.
This is worth the time. This is worth the time loss.
Oh, 100%.
It really is. Absolutely.
100%. All right, now we're going to get silly.
So here's a fun thing about it, and this is actually going to be using towards some of my skipping logic and splitting logic, is that we're now going to be wrong warped into coordinate 0, 0, 0. And as you can see, we're falling down in the z-axis by doing that. Now that when we load back into the main flying waters area, we now have Mayel outside of the mana go. We can skip everything, and we have Mayel go forwards. Let's go.
So you didn't.
Yep, and that skips the curator boss fight.
Correct.
And the fun doesn't stop there.
Oh yeah. You thought that was the cool skip of this chapter? You know what I realized actually running any of the skips in this game? I go try do a skip like on a full any % run, and I always tell my chat, this is the worst skip in the game to each one.
When you get to the next one, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, that's the worst skip of the game. But this one's not that bad when things go right.
Nice.
But
However.
This next few this skip here is one of the toughest interactions towards outer bounding. So let's just roll with it right now. So certain terrain has nice walkable platforms, but it's very hard to try to navigate between each area. Thankfully, the runners of this game have been constantly finding new ways in order to try to be able to explore the different kind of like accessible terrains that would take you in towards out of bound states. Huge shouts to Damageful for providing us with a trainer that allows us to see the invisible walls and be able to actually figure out the best kind of routes that we need to go, and to runners like One Cardinal as well for putting in so much time and work in towards finding these skips. You can see that Camu is just navigating around in places that you should not be. Camu is more than likely going to be doing a safety save in a second, and to do that, the easiest way of being able to do a quick sort of like auto save is to equip.
Just because he said that, I'm not gonna know.
All right,
You are a braver man than I am, Manu.
all right, okay. Well. It was me trying to be safe for you, but nah. Okay, let's just go for it.
Because yeah,
Going
at this
for
point, if Abu falls, it's soft locked.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're gonna do it, I'll give you some claps afterwards.
You mad lad. You mad lad.
All right, there we go. GG.
Skip's the boss of this area, so.
In practice, like, I'm doing a safety save. I'm doing it.
I was gonna, but he just challenged me. He's like, I was gonna safety save. And I'm like,
that is a terrifying but impressive
And
skip
he just
right
pulls
there.
it off.
Yeah.
Easy.
I would hope so after all the hours we put into this game.
So true, man.
No, it's one of those things where the skips are conceptually easy, but because what we said earlier, the jumps are a little bit jank. You'll see top runners just reset sometimes there all the time. Sometimes you get a good day, and sometimes Mael just flips and slides off a rock.
Mood.
I can't believe you just did that.
I'm both mad and impressed. I love it.
I do like that chat comment there. For those who out of bounds after.
For those who out of bounds
Nice.
after.
or what I was doing, I was setting up our second wrong warp of this one, which skips like about a third of Act 1.
Something like that, yeah. I'm a little bit like, I don't have too much knowledge on this wrong warp. I've been away at TwitchCon, so I've missed out on a little bit. This run is rapidly evolving. Even today, there is a potential to skip the prologue, but it is inconsistent at the moment. But still.
Just have to think like gestures.
So, Suki, you probably know this wrong warp a little bit better than me. Can you explain that a tiny bit?
So for this one, it's a little bit further out, but we are heading to Best Boy's Nest, and we're going to be doing another out-of-bounds skip that looks clearly out of bounds and actually uses frame rate to we lower the frame rate from 60 to 30 to get back into it. We're going to fight a boss, Francois, and then we are going to see the second half of the wrong warp. But for me specifically, this one is more annoying because I have to remember the time on the save because I will screw it up just because it's so far away. But it's, again, the same concept. We've added the extra saves, and now, or as soon as we get to the point where we've defeated Francois, we talk to SKA, we will do the wrong warps and go from the nest back into the camp. And we know we've done it right if we skip a magical cutscene that just comes out of nowhere. And you'll see something kind of wonky in the camp. We'll show it later. But right now, we are getting to the point we have to get back in bounds. And somebody's... I was about to say, like, if you pull this off at Unlimited, I will...
I can, but it's... Well, you described the FPS trick, and if I'm not suddenly doing the FPS trick, you know...
Right.
We do see the FPS trick done a lot. We have seen the FPS tricks done a lot in like Resident Evils and stuff like that, for example. Usually low FPS allow us to.
Not the water! Not the water! You can save it if you go in that rock, but if you fall a little bit too much towards the inside of the rock, you fall into this little like cool pool under the rock, under the game, and you're soft locked. Not that I've done that a lot.
You know what's funny? That's I think I maybe messed up that skip once in my entire like speedrunning career. Of course, it'd be in a marathon where the easiest skip just goes awry.
Of course.
Yeah, but
that's what you get
also,
for Flying Waters.
Karma's like, oh, you think darkness is your ally. No, but this is one of the most important sequence breaks in the game, and probably this skip and with wrong warping is the biggest skip in the game in terms of conceptually, because this skips getting a partner who we thought was mandatory, CL. And doing this and wrong warping at the end, we're actually able to skip getting CL.
And it's funny because in cutscenes or just random group dialogue, she's talking. Like she'll actually be talking in the SKA nest while not with us. It's just kind of one of those.
There we go.
Okay, very nice.
So I think initially this skip was actually called Password Skip,
yes.
which is where you meant to go through 2 different maps, which is I think it's Ancient Sanctuary in the Gestrel Village, right?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. So and once you've beaten the
strongest ice attack, watch out!
Absolutely.
Strongest attack. Hey.
But big shout out to RE7, because an RE7 runner found that out, and of course it'd be FPS related.
Exactly, yeah.
Free fired.
What you meant to do is you meant to do this whole sort of like battle sequence thing, like sort of like a tourney, where you got to fight like big hands and big feet and a sack of patate, and then you fight CI at the end of it. Then you got to go back, and then eventually you find out the password to be able to allow yourself to go and meet SK and Francois. You don't need to yell the password anymore, so password skip. That's basically it. But with Francois, you know what? I don't even need to explain it. It's done. It's done.
That's what a crit looks like, huh?
Yeah, I was lamenting earlier, my PB for this particular one, I did not get the crit on that last attack, so it adds like another minute or two because, well, yeah.
I don't know if reloading that autosave there eats the old autosave. I don't think
I was wondering about that.
It should.
Because I never mess up there, you know, so it's one of those situations I
from another world. The more information we get,
1730
Worst comes to
something.
worst, we can just set it up again. We will have to do it again, but
Yeah.
that's no issue.
Darn.
But yes, everyone say goodbye or say hello to the greatest balloon marshmallow of memes and wine. If you know, you know. Best boy.
SK best.
We're missing a lot of context here about Florian.
It's fine. It's fine.
Chat's like, who the?
Look, SK's just the best. He's so cute.
Good.
Right.
Well,
did you get it?
it's here that's. I can make this work.
Okay.
Okay.
Waiting with a bated breath.
Yeah, I made it work. Nice.
Hey!
It did ruin it just a little bit. Wait, did it?
Oh.
Isn't it supposed to be a cutscene?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a cutscene right there.
Well, but it's on the 20-minute save. What's going on?
Do we have SK?
We do not have SK, so
Well,
we'll just do it again. I mean, we won't do the wrong warp. I mean, it's a little bit wonky. We'll just run out of the cave.
I mean, that second wrong warp can go all right. This is just an example of like how the save management system can be a little bit wonky. So that's just a prime example. So it's fine. It's fine.
It really doesn't take much to mess up the wrong warp. I know I've messed it up by accidentally activating the flag, and because it'll auto save right there. It's like, oh, well, cool.
And in a full game perspective as well, like because you can make safety saves by changing your equipment. If you create more than 1 or 2 safety saves, you are soft blocked by the end of the game with how wrong warping works. So,
Oh,
Now that I did not know actually. Oof.
that's something I'm dreading now for when I start doing the full game run.
so in full perspective, I mean, like Act 1 is Act 1, right? But if you want to run any percent, your job is probably never to get hit. That's
Yeah.
Yep.
usually, yeah.
I mean, if you want to get that world record, just don't get hit forehead.
And just don't get hit. It's really
it's
funny.
fine.
I didn't think this skip, me resetting this skip of all things, would screw up the wrong warp. That's kind of funny. For GDQ fashion, that's never happened before.
Hey.
Hey, at least you get to show more out of bounds, so that's fine. Like,
That's true.
who doesn't love out of bounds?
I will be running out of the cave normally.
Well, I should say while you're doing that, I've got a couple quick announcements I can throw out there
for
since
it.
we're running through. Perfect. All right, so if you want, the annual Sonic Hotfix event is back with Sonic and Sega All-Stars live on June 14th and 15th at 2 p.m. or 12 p.m. Eastern. This year, we're expanding beyond Sonic speedruns to include other iconic Sega franchises. And best friends in chat, type !Sonic in that chat if you want the full schedule and let us know what you are excited to see. And then I believe the very next week after that, Black in a Flash's Summer Speedrunning Celebration Juneteenth will be live on the GDQ channel from June 19th to the 22nd. And then type !Juneteenth in the chat for the full schedule for that. And visit gdq.gg/BAF to learn how you can join the Black in a Flash community.
That was kind of weird. Francois was already beaten.
I was about to say, so like, yeah, so Francois was loaded in, but it had already registered that the battle had been done, so you could just go to...
No, so I think what it did is it picked up the last autosave. So obviously the newest autosave got eaten. The second to last autosave was me beating Francois, but me going back to camp doesn't necessarily
Oh, that
trigger
makes
it.
sense.
I haven't done this run in a while. Where am I supposed to go? Nah. Fun fact about that camp, that is Expedition, I don't know, but they died because SKA fed them mushrooms, and then they started hallucinating, and then they just died.
It's because the person that, like, SK had seen people eating mushrooms before, that person was immortal. They were fine, so they could eat the poisonous mushrooms, but they still live. But for humans who aren't immortal, they figured it out the hard way, I guess.
Yeah.
So what are both of your favorite?
expeditioners.
Yeah, what is both of yours favorite expedition? Like every expedition has a theme, right?
The 47th Brigade,
What for the 47?
the Drunken Brigade.
Oh
Oh,
god.
So this expedition, since the funny expedition, for certain reasons we're not going to talk about, 60, 47, they kind of just said, you know what, let's just have a grand old party for our last year, and they were affectionately nicknamed the Drunken Brigade.
I'm tired.
Nico, what about you?
I know that I mentioned one earlier on, but I've completely forgotten. I'm actually, there is a expedition log of all the different expeditions and all of their explanations of, but I genuinely can't remember which one I said now.
Yeah,
60 is the easy one to say.
Yeah, sure, 60. Funny.
And Insless, I see quite a few people in chat going, yep, yeah, 60.
For those of you out of the loop, 60 was a bunch of dudes and lasses who just said, you know what? Equipment sucks, weapons suck. Let's just work out for a year, get massively buff, and go naked, take on the Paintress. And funny enough, they were the furthest one.
Did they get through the barrier?
They got all the way to the monolith, I think.
Let's see. Allowed them to do something no one else no one before or since did. They pierced the monolith's barrier without being killed and reached its innermost depths. There they discovered the secrets of the Paintress and the true source of the Gamage. Before he can make the final swim back, the Gamage struck and killed him. Ow.
Yes.
Well, there we go then. Nice.
Yep.
So all that's getting buff for naught, basically, I guess. Yeah.
I feel that the barrier was put up after 60. Hey, nobody wanted to see that.
Expedition 60 is a metaphor of how we should all live our lives.
Oh,
if your
so
boss
true.
or manager ever says, you know, what are you wearing? Just say Expedition 60. And they'll just say, I completely understand.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, these little things are fun, actually. They're kind of like little challenge bulbs where, like, you know, it's held by 3 different, like, smaller orbs or bulbs, whatever you want to call them. And then once you've defeated all of those 3 or shot them down, inside of it is going to have a nice little, like, picto or some kind of item that you can pick up that actually could have some good benefits for your run.
Because I'm lazy, I wrong warp back. I didn't want to run 4
I was
seconds.
about to say, that's a...
It's not worth it. I mean, it's just cool to do. Because especially since I messed up like 1 out of the 2 wrong warps, so now I'm 2 out of 3. So. I can't wrong warp perfectly good.
That's my question. You doing
Which one is
cave
that?
I'm not sure.
Which variation is that?
It's the one where you go, you pick up Miles' weapon in the cage and Old Farm and then climb up the rocks.
Oh yeah. I hate that skip.
Same.
Genuinely the worst skip of the game. Genuinely the worst skip of the game.
Absolutely same.
Those ledges are smaller than a hamster, a baby hamster.
Right.
Destroyed our world.
Like, it's kind of crazy to think like how many skips that there actually is in Stonewave Cliffs as well, which is where we are right now, by the way. Like, there's been quite a few skips that were done but have been since revoked because the routing for this run has been changed massively, especially for like full game runs anyway. Most runners want to try to get like like again, as mentioned, certain items, certain weapons in such a certain way that sometimes the skips just don't make sense to do. So there's one like kind of like I would say minor out of boundsy sort of skip that Ava's going to do in a moment that just makes sense contextually for where he's going to be going to, basically. Because there was one huge one that took you like properly out of bounds, but that was that more of a time occurrence because it's hard to get back inbounds?
It's one of those things, if you do it perfectly, it saves 12 seconds, but because you miss a lot of drops, like you lose 12 seconds over the course of the rest of the run, making up for those drops. Because you pick up a lot of like pictos and a passive.
Perfect.
What it usually was.
Right, here we go. So here's some more of the maneuvering and the out of bouncing. I was saying this to Ava earlier on. I was like, is this out of bounds? But the more you look at it, like this is kind of an area that you're not supposed to be able to go to. This is like, you know, unintended platforming. So in a retrospect, it isn't out of bounds.
I'm glaring at this area right here for the number of times I've fallen on this specific jump.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no way I fall off this jump, right?
Well, you safety saved, so of course you're not going to.
Safety saves.
So basically, like the best way to describe what just happened in terms of what was skipped, picture a U. That cave skip put like a straight line on the top of the U and connected the 2 points. Because that's the only way I could think of it. I am a simple person, okay? I'm just happy when I get the skip.
We're now coming up to a boss which strangely isn't that hard, but for some reason, canonically, every runner messes it up on this boss. At some point, he's not hard. He really isn't, but...
And it's the final boss of Act 1.
That's true.
Actually, wait, I gotta overhype it. This boss is so hard, guys. Man, if I don't take damage...
Okay,
oh my goodness.
real talk, probably one of my favorite walk-ups to a boss fight in
my God,
gaming.
yeah. Just those lamp noises is so cool.
This is the Lamp Master, chat.
Here we go.
Nico, you want to quickly explain Miles
Yes,
stances
of course,
and the
that's something that we
RNG?
should have done a while ago. Yeah, so Mael has like 3 different stances, which is defensive, offensive, and virtuose. Defensive has 50% damage, offensive has 100% bonus, and virtuose has 200% bonus damage, making it 300% damage. We always got to try to set up a virtuose, and we want to want the enemy to try to parry Mael when in virtuose to send a load of damage back, usually around 5,000 damage. Compared to Gustav's like 494, 500, as you see right there. And like Lampmaster's got similar like attack cycles, but this time he's got like more consecutive attacks in a singular attack. So that way you can see like, you know, we got to try to parry more with those little like things. This attack here actually. So 1, 2. And after you've done the final hit for it, then you can do the eventual final parry back.
It's like this one I've noticed, I use both the audio and the visual cues to make sure I parry properly. That's a cool thing about a lot of the attacks in the game. You can use either or.
It's a lot to learn for loads of different enemies that you do fight along the way, and it's wild to think of just like how many different styles of attacks there are as well. Oh, by the way, phase 2.
Yeah.
Phase 2.
How many people casually went, oh, we beat Lampmaster. Oh, no, we didn't beat Lampmaster.
Yep.
I don't know if y'all saw the chunk of HP going down, but that is a virtuose stance attack.
So yeah, as somebody in the chat just mentioned there, Mael's doing like 10 times the damage. That's correct. Thank you to the Virtuose stance move. So you can see in the bottom right of the HUD that currently Mael's in defensive. That means they're currently doing 50% damage, so minus 50. And again, the certain, I think it's either the spell or the attack that we do will set it into Virtuose, giving it that extra massive boost, basically. Now, we are actually capped of damage as of right now, so the most amount of damage that we can do is 9,999. Nice crit there, actually, from Gustav. So Mayo technically, at this point, can do a 9,999 damage attack, and if that happens, that helps out a lot for this fight anyway, especially for an Act 1 any percent.
It's important not to get hit because you will die in one hit, usually.
Yeah, so that's another thing. You saw that we went into Stone Cliff Waves a moment ago, and it had that little red ring around it. That means danger. That means it is too far over leveled from where we're at the moment, and it's not usually recommended to go into.
Nice.
I swear that attack sequence is so painful to actually.
They're delayed. It looks easier than it actually is. They're like oddly delayed.
For some reason, I have no problems with that attack. It's the up close and personal melee that Lampmaster just has my
This
number
one here,
on.
yeah.
No, this one's not too
No,
bad.
the
I
other
just
one.
visual, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Here we
they're
go.
both meant to throw you off, is what it usually is.
Hey, there we go.
I didn't think that would crit, but I guess it did. Like I said, guys, I
Okay, that's a
urge you to
tie.
play this game. I'm not gonna press we continue because that is where Act 1 ends. There are a lot of story spoilers that come
Oh,
up.
yeah.
But very fun game, and there are so many different categories. If you're not comfortable with the skips, we have restricted where you're just able to fight all the bosses. We have Act 1%, we have any percent, we have New Game Plus. Wonderful game. If you don't speedrun it, I urge you to play this. This for me is probably game of the year.
Oh, absolutely same.
Oh, absolutely. Not just for the game style, but the music as well. Deserves awards massively.
It's just a phenomenal game. Even if you're not a fan of RPGs, please check this game out. It's got so much fun playability, and I love it. And honestly, the community for the speedrunning community, this is absolutely fantastic and super, super welcoming show. Yeah. But yeah, for you two, for that awesome showcase of this gorgeous game, tell everybody who you are, where can they find you, and what are you playing?
Gotcha. My name is Avukamu. I'm primarily a speedrun, I'm primarily a horror speedrunner, but because of the RNG in this game is a horror show itself. No, but I've been loving. I didn't think I'd love this speedrun as much as I have. Big shout out to the Discord. Big shout out to literally every runner that's come up with skips, strategies. I mean, we probably put in 10 to 100,000 hours just routing different weapons, different equipment and whatnot, and just the community itself. The collaboration's just been beautiful. Nico?
Yeah, well, you can find me in the Twitches and stuff as Nico Hart and Nico Hart DJ. Variety streams, speedruns every so often, and then, just eventually I'll speedrun this game eventually, but the auto splitter is taking so much priority at the moment, so eventually, yeah.
Eventually. Again, thank you so much, you two. Like I said, I've loved learning the speedrun myself, and I was so happy to see this showcased so quickly because you did amazing with it. And again, everyone give GG's one more time for Avu and Nico for that fantastic showcase of Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Before we head off to our quick little break, where we're going to shift gears into... Welcome back, everybody, to this RPG-themed episode of Express Lane. And we're just going to go right to the next run, which is again, when you think of a game like Chrono Trigger, you think, oh yeah, it can totally be beat in 8 minutes. What? Well, that's exactly what's going to happen because we are watching Silent Martyr do the New Game Plus run of Chrono Trigger. So hello, friend. How are you?
Hi, I am doing so well. Thank you for having me. And yes, 8 minutes is an extremely wide estimate, actually. We'll probably get well within that, assuming that everything goes relatively well. Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna words. You have a commentator with you. That's what I was trying
Yes.
to word.
Good friend, also fellow Chrono Trigger speedrunner. I'm actually trying to bop him in this category, so hopefully no bad feelings. But welcome in Red Slash.
Yeah. Hi. How's it going, everybody? Good evening. I'm Red Slash. Oh, sorry, I thought my mic was cut out for a second. All ready to go. Let's see. So we are gonna, before we start the timer, we are gonna get into the game. Time starts, upon gaining control of the player. So, did we want to go ahead and do that?
Yeah. Whenever you're ready, we can get going into that. Let me just get my.
All free to go.
Yep. I just gotta get myself keyed up to the 148 beats per minute metronome GIF I've got going here with Luca adjusting her glasses just up and down perpetually forever. And then we'll get right into that.
Excellent. So yeah, this is Chrono Trigger New Game Plus by Silent Martyr, presented by Games Done Quick Hotfix, our special RPG edition. I have to thank our host, Asuka, for the opportunity to briefly showcase this classic RPG that's near and dear to our hearts. We're celebrating our 30th anniversary of Chrono Trigger this year.
Nice.
And not only that, we're celebrating the memory of Akira Toriyama, who passed away just about a year ago. He not only contributed to the art, but also to the story writing. And so he had quite a hand in this game. So let's see. Yeah, we're running it in Japanese, a little bit faster text. So this is actually the original version. And so New Game Plus. This route is pretty much been set in stone, optimized for 10 years or more.
Oh,
there's some legacy timing going on.
We're going to start the timer now.
Yep.
Good luck.
Right now. Yep. And so that's actually, that timing comes from TAS Videos, as far as I understand. That's where that timing derives from. So we're going to name our characters, try to mash that start button as quickly as we can, try not to see any frames of that character name screen. Yeah, there's a very competitive category. We're pretty much frame counting every run submission at this point.
Wow.
Here we meet our second character, Marl. And let's see. Let's see here. Okay. And so this is New Game Plus. We are starting with level 99 characters and essentially level 99 equipment. We're going to go down here and put that equipment on at the shop. It's a little bit faster menu here. This also advances the story. And it's okay if you can't read Japanese. It's pretty much muscle memory. And there aren't too many items to choose from. Here we're going to maybe stop for some candy. And it is skippable. It's pretty hard to do. It's if you want to be consistent at it, it is a frame perfect trick.
It's the only frame perfect thing I can do in any speedrun I know.
Mood.
So it's a little bit, we call it, it's either, it's a toss up between is it frame perfect, is it luck? It's a little bit of both. So here's this other gimmick of New Game Plus. We can access the final boss anytime during the game. And during normal gameplay, we can actually access the final boss, pretty early on. But this gives us another earlier access point in the story. And this lets us get some different endings. There's 10 or 11 or 12 different unique endings, depending on when you face Lavos.
Shout out to Dino ending.
Yeah. Oh, so here's Lavos, by the way. We're gonna do a couple moves here. We're gonna just a quick 1-2 takes care of the shell form. And we're also noticing that Silent is going for these. He's trying to open menu during these screen transitions.
Yes.
Ooh, nice.
Okay. And so you didn't see it happen, but opening, closing menu there skips a long fade in. Fade in from black. And now we are inside Lavos. This is the inner Lavos. And let me see, what can I say about him? It's pretty much this is where Chrono Trigger isn't too difficult of a game, but here is where kind of it puts everything you've learned to the test. And so we have all this equipment tuned just so that we're trying to do maximum damage here. One thing I wanted to point out is, speaking of Akira Toriyama, fans of the Dragon Ball series, recognize this character, or what kind of character it is, at least. He had a big hand in the design, the story writing, the tone of this game, the humor, and how it kind of balances all with all the different themes in this game. And so, I'm kind of reluctant to talk over this battle theme, but we don't have much time anyhow. And so I was just thinking, 10 or 15 years ago, it was kind of expected that, most people had played this game, but I think maybe that's not really the case so much anymore. There's so many new, interesting gaming experiences out there. I don't fault anyone really for not playing this. And so I was going to make a joke about, spoilers in a 30-year-old game. Well, there's a little bit of truth to that. But I think the game definitely holds up, and it's worth trying out. It's not too hard of a game. You can get into it pretty easily.
And
This run especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a very, not only just to Chrono Trigger, but I think this is one of the best runs that someone who's looking into getting into speedrunning in general is, because it does a great job of both testing your abilities, quick menuing, understanding routing and movement, and being able to properly menu, all the things that you would need to know how to do for virtually any category for any speedrun. And it's only 7 or 8 minutes, so it's just fantastic for that purpose as well.
Yep. And there's no real glitches in here. There's no opportunities to do any glitches, except for this little menu skip. Oh, you got it.
Nice.
You saw it. It kind of flashed in white there. There is RNG manipulation, but it's very simple, rudimentary to do, and it's just based on the frame that you load the game in.
Compared to the RNG manipulation for the any percent runs, it's so much easier to have backups and change things that go wrong and make it seem like everything's fine. Like right now, where I've been off RNG for half the run, but it's easy to recover.
Yeah. Let's see. And so, even so, let's see. So the kind of the gimmick of this fight is we take out one of the bits here, and then Silent purposely shot Marl's bow at that right bit, and that kind of re-rolls its AI, so that it recognizes that bit is dead, and so it's now preparing to revive all the bits on screen, and so it has lowered its defense. And from here, it's 6. Yeah, isn't it 6 luminaires?
I believe it's 5 because it's 30,000 for the right bits.
Yeah.
HP.
That's right. Yeah. And so we are counting to 5, and on that last damage number pop-up will be time. And let's see, I'm trying to follow the MP. How many do we have left?
This guy should be the last one. Ideally, we get that in before the revive, but because I was just a little bit off the RNG, they snuck in. That would be time. But thankfully,
jeez.
Thank you. But yeah, thankfully, since the right bit is the actual boss, if you kill the right bit, the other bits die too. So you don't have to kill the other bits to finish the fight. Nice. Flashing light warning for anybody who's sensitive and has epileptic issues.
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah. It was a different time.
I know something I saw really quickly in chat a little bit ago about level 99 new game plus. It's like this is not the second playthrough most likely that Silent has done. This is probably the course of getting all of the other endings and building up your characters over time to be able to do this specific one.
It's funny you say that because Red convinced me to do this run first when I got into speedrunning, because I had my own file that was already curated for this run without even realizing it. I had a full 99 maxed out, everybody with tabs and everything.
Yep, anybody can set up a file, but we also have a file available for anyone to download and play on emulator. It's just ready to go out of the box. And so here we have the kind of the hardest ending to get, the developer's ending. And let's see, I think there's all kinds of different developers. I think of it as cosplaying as NPCs in here. And the idea is to kind of talk to everybody, and that opens up the final room to the dream team. But in fact, there's only 8 NPCs that you actually need to talk to, and we have this routed out.
This was routed for all endings, right? Originally, that was where this was figured out.
Yeah, that's kind of where it's applicable. I might have had it routed for New Game Plus. Originally, I'm not sure, but yeah, just for fun. And so let's see.
The big dream team right there.
Yep. So in order from where we're standing right to left, we've got Hironobu Sakaguchi. We've got I always mess up Aoki's first name, so I'm just gonna say Aoki. He's the other producer. We got Yuji Horii right here. Here's Nobuo Uematsu. Even though he only did 5 or 6 songs for the game, he's a legendary, so he's in. And then the man himself, Toriyama, R.I.P. I love these sprites because of how well they look like the actual people that they represent. Especially the 3 of the dream team, those are the guys. If you see that iconic picture of them sitting by the TV that says Chrono Trigger on it, it's just oh yeah, that's them. There they are.
Agreed.
And let's see, I think that's Nobuo Uematsu, who is Beckler here.
Yes.
If I recall.
Yep. And Aoki is this fella here with the I forget what that is. That like a scroll that's hanging from his shirt or something? I'm not really sure what's going on with his outfit there. But
yeah, we'll call it that.
So I think this is not Uematsu as Beckler, but the Beckler is a self-insert of Uematsu. What do you think about that?
Spicy take?
Could be. That's my theory.
Again, GG's for that. Absolutely fun. It's so fun to see Chrono Trigger just go from a game that it's so massive and it's so cool, and then just the satisfying feeling of getting that developer ending the first time. But for everybody, where can they find you, and what are you currently playing?
Sure. I'm actually doing this run right now. This is what I'm currently doing. I'm trying to get 4th place from Red. I'm grinding it 5 days a week on my channel over Silent Martyr over on Twitch. And we have the best Discord for speedrunning. No offense to anybody else in any other one, but I love our community. It's so fun. We have pockets for glitch lists, for any percent, for New Game Plus, whatever category you want. There's plenty of people who are chomping at the bit to help you out and talk about it and, just enjoy the running. So the link for it is in the speedrun.com or the leaderboard channel. Yeah. It's all in there. Yep. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm not really an active runner at the moment. I don't really shout out my channel. I'd rather, if you'd come and join the Discord. And we don't have too many active runners at a time. And so if you're interested in learning this game, I guarantee everybody would absolutely love to help you out. That's our favorite thing to do. And we also like to make different tools, practice tools and resources. Some of them need a little bit of updating or a little bit of fresh inspiration. And so we're always looking for, if that interests you, we have just last week, we had our first auto splitter created by Where's the Money Mowski in the chat here. And we have Onimus taking over developing of the practice hack. We had our very first Nintendo DS run within the last few weeks. And that was released in 2008. That was a big undertaking, and that's really cool. And then the PC version is popping off. Don't forget about the PC version. That's a great run. And then, of course, the SNES, the tried and true. And so, stop on in, and we'd love to chat and help you with whatever you're interested in checking out.
Just leave the PS1 version alone.
Yeah, fair.
Don't bother with that one.
Yes. I think everyone agrees. Yeah.
Well, on that note, thank you again both so much. That was so fun to watch. GG. Hello again, friends, and welcome back to Express Lane, this fantastic RPG edition. And at this point, again, it's June, so you're probably already thinking about Black Friday and Christmas and everything. Well, we need to save Christmas first. And Alfina's going to be saving Christmas on Insane Percent, meaning difficulty of Cthulhu Saves Christmas, because when I think of, like, holidays, I think of Eldritch Horrors. It makes perfect sense, I think. Anyway, hi, friend!
Yeah, Eldritch Horror and Christmas makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
So hi, I'm Alfina. I'm going to be doing the run today, and I have two fantastic commentators that make up 2/3 of the rest of the community.
Hi, I'm Church. I run this game.
Hi, I'm Pestilus. I've run this game twice.
Hey,
We're so excited.
GG's not 4 a.m.
Yeah. Last time we did this run, it was 4 a.m. We were tired. It's going to be better. I just know it.
Yeah.
All right, time
As
starts.
long as you remember the first menu this time.
Listen,
Please.
all my mistakes shall be coming up to haunt me here shortly.
I'm reminding you now, okay?
Okay, time starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Go menu.
And it's still a little bit
So,
before we get to that menu.
Yeah, so the story is Cthulhu gets a present on Christmas, and he's surprised, and he opens it, and his power's gone.
Yeah.
So now he runs into Crystal, and Crystal's like, oh, you gotta save Santa Claus so you can get your power back, and you want your power back, and Cthulhu save the world, and Cthulhu's like, really?
I'm not going to
Okay,
save the world, I'm
whatever.
going to destroy it.
Yeah, it's gonna destroy it. There's not a sequel to this called Save the World or anything.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Technically, there's not. This is the prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, same difference.
Come get some chests real quick. Don't worry, you don't need to read any of that text. No, my model is not having a problem. It's fine. I am definitely not smashing keys that fast.
So, menu, please, after this chest. While you menu.
Please menu. But yes, we allow macros, so Alfina's holding one button and it's doing as many inputs as we would normally get if we mashed A on the controller and the keyboard interaction key at the same time, because this game lets you do that.
Nice.
There's actually 2 keyboard interaction keys.
Yup.
And you can match
It's
all
even
3 of them
worse.
at once. In the earlier days of the
Unlucky.
run, I tried it once and it was
Unlucky.
like, yeah, I'm literally just smashing the controller on the keyboard. We can't do this. This is dumb. We cannot.
And then I started running it, and we were like, we're not doing this.
This is
No,
dumb.
fair.
It's very silly.
I just love the
So,
nonplussed look on Cthulhu, right, as he's like staring at the heart in the upper
Yep.
left. It's
It's fantastic.
So, turn-based combat. There are 2 rows. The top row is set. We can go in the menu and set what abilities will show up there, and we can use them. The bottom row is completely random. If we have a set of abilities of what we can do, and it's random which ones show up. And the only one that's consistent is the bottom right, which is our recharge/defend, which we use to recharge abilities mostly. Most abilities you can only use once
Oh, that
before
was
they
dumb.
have to recharge, unless there's some ability or item or something that changes
Crystal's not
that.
dead yet.
Yeah, she's not dead yet. And yeah, we're just... This first fight especially, we're at the whims of what moves the game gives us to get rid of Jack Frost, and we made it, so that's a good fight.
nice.
She didn't die. Look, we're already doing great.
If we didn't die, we're doing great. That's how this goes.
Obligatory doggo percent, I see.
Yeah, if you play Persona, we're playing Persona now.
You know, the subtle, like, lo-fi jazz kind of gave it away, too.
Isn't it fun, though?
I'm a fan.
So
Each
So
time we
yeah,
do one
we,
of those, it's another day. So we're on Christmas Eve. You know what? Let's not try to count them all.
it's like, yeah, because Santa's gone, it's Christmas Eve every day, so...
The game even gives up counting before we get to the end, so like let's not.
There's more than 40, I think.
How dare you not respect the lore? I believe it's 42.
It's more than 42. Because you get 42, and then you go Christmas Eve, the who's even counting anymore. The last one is Christmas Eve, the who's even counting anymore.
It's like once you hit 42,
You're right.
you already have all the answers you need, so.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the answer to a life, the universe, and everything. So, do we need more Christmas Eves after that?
Exactly.
My favorite, one of my favorite lines in the whole game, though, is the Christmas Eve, the who's even counting anymore. That straight up is. I use it in like every submission of this game anywhere. Like people need that. Even the game gives up counting.
Now, what's going on in the bottom right with that green, yellow, red staccato beat going on?
Yeah, so when we're playing through most RPGs, we are running into random encounters. That is our chance of running into a random encounter. But if you hit A right as the exclamation mark is popping up over Cthulhu's head, then you don't have the battle.
Oh.
And we have macro, so we can just hold the button and never get an encounter, basically.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we don't have to worry about running away.
Yeah, the run is basically a rush, and you're underleveled for it.
Yes.
We are quite underleveled.
That's not what I wanted to do. It's fine.
Chicken up.
So, yeah.
We'll get back to that.
Baba Yaga's in our party, and she has a chicken. The chicken named Cluck Cluck. It can talk.
As one
and
does.
her primary role is egg and chickening up. I am not kidding.
So you can see under her health bar, there's like a, right now it says 50%. As we keep going, it's going to keep going up.
Percentage. Yeah. We need to
all right, the cat is gone.
Get it
That's
to
good.
200% chicken.
Everything's fine because the cat is gone.
And at 200% chicken, good things will happen. So
Crystal? Okay.
And there's the first crystal death.
Hey.
So Crystal is our healer. Her favorite activity is lying on the ground.
Yeah. And there's no way to revive a downed ally, so...
There is, but not right
no good
now.
way for us to do it anyway.
And we're not going to be getting that in this run.
Ever.
But it does exist in the game, just for clarity's sake.
Yeah, if anybody
you
at
are
home...
correct, but for our purposes, it doesn't.
So. If anybody at home is like, why can't you revive? Well, because we don't pick that item up, because it's slow.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Actually don't even know where it is. I could not tell you where it is anymore.
So I know where it is, not off the top of my head, but because I've done a deep dive item analysis in this game. So I have a list of where everything is.
Yeah, Cthulhu's starting a cult. Love it.
Oh, he already has a cult. They just don't remember him.
Yeah.
Oh, fair.
So, essentially, every time we do a boss, the boss is like, oh, you want Santa Claus? Well, I don't have him, but the next guy in the evil league of Christmas Evil has him. And then we do that like 8 times.
Are you led by a horse?
No.
No, unfortunately.
But we will get to a reindeer here soon.
Yes.
A dead reindeer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
and in between,
undead?
we have 4 days between dungeon to do Persona stuff, and like Persona, each thing we do gives us a reward. So we're doing specific things to either get specific items or weapons or what have you, or we're doing it because it's fast to mash through. As we get later on.
Yeah, they also build on each other. So like, I did the expedition the first time we went to town, and then I did it again the second time. If I hadn't done the expedition the first time, the reward I got the first time would have been there when I got to town the second time. So you have to do them in order.
Yep, there are absolutely times we don't care about one reward, but we really want another, so...
Half the post
times
office.
to the post office, as it were.
Yes. Because we missed one, and it hurt.
There's a very serious, super important question I've noticed in chat is, given that this is a Christmas game, will you be playing the Hanukkah sequel, Dagon's Dreidel?
You know, if they made it, I would.
I'd be in. I'd be down.
The honest truth is, so the company that made this game and many, many others that are fantastic, if they make a game, I'm probably on board to play it.
If Zaboid Games makes their game, I'll play it.
Yeah.
And I'll do a run of it, and then I will stop because I don't do speedruns anymore.
Yeah,
And then you'll come bug me to do it. Got it.
Shout out to their most recent project being a game called This Way Madness Lies, which is about the Straverdon Haven Drama Club of a high school, which is a bunch of high school girls that get Sailor Moon type powers to go into Shakespeare worlds being invaded by Lovecraftian horrors.
Yeah.
So, sort of an aside, going back to the Hanukkah game, if you know a Hanukkah game or any other December holiday games, please tell me what they are, because I cannot find any speedrunnable games that aren't Christmas games.
I'd like to do something else, but I have to do that. I need to do that. Nope.
So this is our full party now. The long and short of it, Cthulhu mostly deals damage. Crystal is our healer and our hospital bill driver. Baba Yaga does a bunch of chickening up, and as she chickens up, she gets better ailments as her primary thing. As you saw, we poisoned all three of these enemies with Cthulhu's poison, but when Baba Yaga zaps 200% chicken, her poison is way more powerful and does quite a bit more damage per turn than Cthulhu's poison. So we do love that. Chickening up is always a good time. And then we have our dude at the end who does just everything, a little bit of everything.
Fair.
Like, he does his best.
Bell has, on more than one occasion, saved the run. Strangely.
Yep. Like, I wouldn't say he does anything exceptionally well, but he is very helpful.
He defenses up really well.
Yeah, he does defense up well. Defense up is kind of necessary.
Hopefully that was that might have been a dumb idea. Oh, there goes that entire strat. Okay.
Yeah,
this
there
is
goes
fine.
Our primary damage dealer.
Well, my plan was to unite here shortly.
Yeah, I assumed. That's, yeah, so the other thing we haven't discussed yet is the, oh boy. So, let's discuss the Unite abilities first, I guess. So Unite, each of the characters has a Unite ability, which is just two party members work together and they get a super strong ability that they can use. And Cthulhu's and Baba Yaga's is a really powerful single target, like dark projectile, and is probably the best single target damage move that we get access to during this run. So, and Cthulhu being down means we can't use it, so it's less than ideal.
It's fine.
It works.
See, everything's fine.
It worked. I don't know how you got away with that.
I don't know how I get away with half the things I do in this game. Let's not poke at it too much.
If you ask too many questions, it'll unravel at the seams.
The game will catch on.
It's just like in certain moments, we can't have faith in me. It's okay. The game will catch on, and it's not allowed.
Oh, right. I don't believe in you. You don't got this.
But I never believe in you. You never got this.
That's important.
Honestly, that is a mood I understand and respect.
Look, I'm gonna do this menu right now.
I'm so proud.
Hey, GG's.
Hooray for menus.
It's because I don't have to pick up anything on this place.
Yeah, which is funny because this is the one map I think where this category picks up less than Sane Percent does.
Yeah. Because there's like two chests that you pick up in Sane and that I do not pick up here. So part of it is with all of the gear in this game, they offer you some form of stats, and then most of them, not all, but most of them also offer you some ability. So when I was routing this category, I took the Sane or the any percent run as the kind of base, and then I started really looking at every item to see, well, do I need more stats here or do I need this ability here? So like things like Crystal being able to reuse her hot chocolate ability is game breaking right now, where I probably didn't need that in any percent as much. Hot chocolate is currently Crystal's main heal. So it's a lot of things like that.
I think I criticize you for this every time, but you really don't pick up Shield Breaker?
No.
I think you're wrong, but I'll allow it.
Oh boy.
Because I can get the same benefit where needed from an item. So, or not from an item, but from Baba Yaga. So it became less important.
I don't disagree with you, but I am criticizing you for it.
You can disagree. I'm not going to change my stuff.
I'm not saying you should.
That's somewhere I've cut time.
Here's where we see a speedrunning community begin to fracture at the
If anybody would like to join me in running this particular category, I will take those criticisms a lot more.
That's when it really fractured, is when the conversation went, I think I'm going to do insane difficulty, and I was like, why? Oh.
Because why not? It'll be fun.
No.
Famous
Love
last
yourself
words.
more than that.
Famous last words of speed. It's fun.
It is fun.
Like, was it worth it though? Really?
Yes.
When
I love this
speedruns become
category.
Pyrrhic victories.
So you'll notice the little pips by our character portraits and our characters sometimes going Super Saiyan. Every time those pips fully max out, we go into hyper mode, and when we're in hyper mode, we deal significantly more damage. Some of our abilities literally change how they work. Like Crystal's heal goes from a one target heal to a full party regen ability.
No.
So there is a decent amount of, there are certain moves and certain things we only want to do in hyper, ideally. For example, the unite between Cthulhu and Baba Yaga we referenced earlier, which is our big single target damage.
So, like, right
much
now.
more useful with the hyper. Yeah, and there's Crystal's unite ability with the big tentacle. Very good for multiple targets. And 1400 damage you saw there is more useful than most of these hits we're doing. And there's the Baba Yaga unite ability.
Did I see the name of that Cthulhu?
Huh? No.
Oh, okay.
Cluck?
It is now.
Yeah. Don't mind me.
No, that was Cluck. We love Cluck.
Yeah, the chicken's name is Cluck Cluck, and Cluck Cluck will speak to us in the next mission, so...
Do. Oh. I get so excited about that theme, and it's gone so fast.
Yeah, there's Cluck Cluck talking to us. Thanks, Cluck Cluck.
Cluck told us the secrets of this place.
As a chicken on your head does.
We are preserving the first time playthrough experience for you guys to play the game and read the amazing dialogue. This game is very funny. It is well worth playing.
Yes. It does not take itself seriously in all the best ways.
Nice.
Yeah, if you thought a game called Cthulhu Saves Christmas took itself seriously, I am sad to inform you it does not.
This map always takes me a second.
This map is very samey.
Well, it's because I missed that chest a lot.
Environment.
Open.
So, I guess since we're bringing it up, this map and the next map. So I think this map is the one that messes me up the most. This game came out after Cosmic Star Heroine, which was like their big project, probably the biggest game they've done, and they kind of got a little bit of burnout. But they still, wanted to keep producing stuff. So what they did was they reused a bunch of their old assets from old games and they obviously Christmasified them. But they basically used old maps, old icons, and everything like that, so that they could still produce a game, even without like making all the assets. So like this map is the same as Penny Arcade's 3's DLC. The next map is Penny Arcade 4. There's some other maps that have been reused, but also notably, all of the move icons were also reused. So you go from Cosmic Star Heroine to Cthulhu Saves Christmas
to This Way Madness Lies.
Yeah, This Way Madness Lies. Use the icons too.
Yeah,
and they're
also
all
incoming.
The move is the icon's really great in one game and it's terrible in the other. And if you go between them, you'll just use the wrong moves and it's gonna ruin your run.
Dang.
We're not saying you might. We're saying you will.
100% will happen.
Yeah, well, the thing is, so many of them are similar enough moves that you think, oh, I know what this symbol means, and then it's like, wait, no. Wait,
and then, then they changed also how poison works. So in Cthulhu Saves Christmas, if I poison something, it can die from poison ticks. That's part of the reasons that we use it so much. I was playing This Way Madness Lies because it had just come out and I was super excited about it. It does not work that way. And I was wondering why things weren't dying.
I sure wish it worked that way, because poison's really good in that game.
But it was one of those why are things still here? Oh no.
The classic crystal going down, yep.
Alright.
Well, while our wonderful
I'm more
runner-
impressed if crystal doesn't go down.
Fair. I'd say, while our wonderful runner switches things up, I'm going to do a terrible segue into something I want to mention because a certain showrunner is running the show of this. Haha! So it's pretty close to a certain Switch 2 release in 2 days, and there's actually going to be a Nintendo Switch 2 launch celebration this Thursday on June 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So you should be making sure you are checking out the special broadcast over at twitch.tv/AntOnline, AntOnline, there we go, at 1 p.m. Eastern for the pre-party, and visit antonline.com. I wonder who's going to be hosting that, Church.
I don't know, is that one of you two?
No.
Can you imagine? Yeah, so on Thursday, we've got a great lineup of games, Switch games that are getting patches on the Switch 2. So be sure to check that out. I will be there.
Yeah. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's Church that's running this. Let me not make a cluck cluck of myself. Just double check this. All right.
I have to introduce a little bit of
Cluck's
doubt.
a valuable member of the party. We're shaking it up right now.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Things are getting interesting.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is not quite ideal. It's okay, Alpina. I do not believe in you.
Thanks. I'm really not believing in me. That's not what I meant to do.
I'm not saying it's all ogre, but not liking the numbers I see.
Because here's the problem: is I need to do that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and the other problem we haven't discussed yet is the longer these battles go on, the more damage bosses do.
Oh.
The more damage we do, but the more damage bosses do.
More damage we do as well, but the bosses is kind of more important here.
Gotcha.
So that's really where the underlevel part, I think, plays in.
That makes sense.
Because there's a lot that we can do to, maintain staying alive at the base boss damage, but because they keep ramping up, that's where it starts getting a little scarier.
Yep.
So,
and action economy is a very real thing in this game. If one of our party members go down, just having that little bit less ability to affect the battle can spiral quick.
yeah. So every round, the enemy's damage will go up by 10%, and our unite moves go up by 10%, which is also why you don't see us blitzing out the unite moves at the beginning of the battle, because they're much weaker if we were to just drop it right now. So we want to wait until they're at 100%, which is the max, which is 10 turns. Or maybe earlier if we're really desperate and we're about to die.
Yeah, or maybe earlier if it's the same difficulty and you can just finish the fight in 7 turns, but
Yeah, right.
We established that Alfina isn't running the easy mode.
What's the fun in that? The game doesn't fight back enough.
That's the point. You get in, you get out.
The point is you finish the game in half an hour, Alfina. That's the point.
It's more fun when the game fights back.
Always fighting back right now.
Look, I don't want to know what Crystal lying down animation looks like, personally.
The different types of speedrunners. I need a challenge, and why?
To say, if you want the game that fights back without the insane battle difficulty, this way madness lies. Those map encounters. Oh boy.
I don't want to talk about those map encounters. I don't want to talk about navigating that map.
Yeah, so in that game, the random encounters aren't random. They're enemies on the screen that you have to try to physically avoid touching, and yeah, that's a hard task.
Similar to Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger or like FF13 or...
Unfortunately, they removed the quote-unquote exploit from Cosmic Star Heroine, which made it really easy, which was if you pause the menu, it disables your hitbox, but if you pause the game, it disables your hitbox, but it doesn't stop the enemies from moving. You can just pause and let them run through you, and then you can leave.
Fair.
I'm not blaming them, but they keep taking away our fun toys.
I have to say,
I say that
because that's a thing you can do.
We say that, but I also love the way. So when we mention the devs, by the way, everyone, it's a 2-person dev team. It's a small team, and they're incredibly supportive of the speedrunning community of these games.
And
they patch out our fun, but
yeah, they definitely didn't accuse us of kicking puppies in their newest game.
Nope, not at all.
No, what you talking about?
Oh my.
Actually, pretty sure that wasn't any of our fault. I think somebody else complained and they added it in.
I'm pretty sure.
Because I didn't complain about it, but in their newest game, there was on launch, like we mentioned earlier, there is magical gold transformations, and you didn't used to be able to skip those. And then they added in a later patch the ability to skip them as long as you accept the text that says, "I kick puppies if I skip this cutscene."
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Look, I gotta go
funny
fast, I'm sorry.
I love that they won't let you skip the panda one though.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't complain. Where did that rock come from? All right.
As we were talking about Overworld, there is some hitboxes in this Overworld that just kinda screws you up sometimes.
Yes. This map is the worst for them because some of these tiny rocks and bones and stuff that you see, those are things you can get caught on. And I've walked that part of that path a million times and never found that rock. This was just where did that rock come from? For the most part, with these sections, I know the feel of them anymore. You'd be surprised how little attention I'm actually paying to the movement.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, that.
Oh,
Wait,
you're
there's
still
movement?
playing?
Yeah. I don't know why I'm still playing, but I
do you-
sure am.
What do
Sorry.
you mean? We're not at a boss. What do you mean there's gameplay?
Yeah.
There's fun exclamation marks popping up over my head. It's great. They don't mean
we're working
anything.
very hard to hit that on the exact frame. Very
Oh.
hard. We're not holding down a
definitely.
trigger or anything.
No.
Yeah, definitely.
And the other thing, if you do go to play this game, and you're interested, that next to the battles thing, it does tell you how many random battles you'll get in this area before it just kind of lets you be. So, like right now, I believe it says 15. After that, it'll just leave you alone. If you want more, you can have more. You can go into the menu and force them. Don't know why you would, but you can.
The person
You
that
can.
that actively chose to run insane difficulty is asking, I don't know why you'd want to make things hard.
Well,
Right?
I don't find the random battles in this to be that interesting. Like, even playing it casually, the base battles were enough, and I was good.
Yeah, some of the random battles are harder than some of the bosses are.
Wow.
That's true.
That's why I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know why you would, but I mean, if you really want to have fun, I'll support you. I just don't know why you would.
Oh, fair.
You don't know why they'd
Yeah.
want to have fun?
I don't know why they'd want to do some of those fights, but I mean,
No, but casually, if you do like most of the random encounters in each area, you'll be like, the game's not this hard. It'll push back, but it's not this hard.
The quintessential RPG dilemma of, you can get through this fast, but you're like 50 levels lower than what you should be right now. Have fun.
I will be picking up some equipment as we keep going that allows certain abilities to be reused that we don't have yet.
Oh, jeez.
Because we're going that fast.
Nice.
Fun time. So this boss is probably going to be one of our first examples of the madness status effect. We have the ability to inflict a status effect called madness because we are Cthulhu. And how that status effect works is we deal significantly more damage to an enemy who is madness. I think it's double, like, don't quote me on that. And also, while an enemy is mad, they can also do that extra damage to us. So it's a very all-in effect, where with this boss, we wanted to do it at some point because more
that's not what I
damage
meant to
means
do.
fast, and not too soon because more damage for them means we die.
This
I
is
don't
fine.
think it comes up in the run, but it also reverses their weakness.
Yes, I
and
do use that.
resistances. Okay, well, there you go. So yeah, if you were weak to fire before the madness is inflicted, you will be strong to fire and then weak to ice afterwards.
I don't talk much about using it, but I do in fact make use of that a couple times in the overall run.
Nice.
And you can see this boss hits pretty hard.
But that's
This
a lot
boss is
more
a
something
real
I
meanie.
think of than I do. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. That's fine. Everything's
Fine.
fine.
Crystal's not lying down yet. We're fine.
No, it's one of those like, is it a bad choice? No. Is it the best choice? Also no.
Ah, gotcha.
I'm not like, well, there goes Crystal.
There we go.
I'm not like super worried, but I'm also just kind of like, this would be better if I had done it this way.
Yep, we're going for it. I do not believe in you.
I don't think it's over. Yeah, with that, you're good. But
Yeah, we're good.
well, looking great for a moment.
I have just the right amount of confidence.
Hey.
Yeah, and you can see how much the chicken up, but with chicken up plus the equipment that Baba Yaga gets, 600 poison damage is more than half of our abilities.
Oh god.
At this point.
There's a reason that chicken-powered poison is so important in this run. Post office. Okay. Welcome to the tree.
Hey.
Now let's see if I can remember all of the chests that I actually need.
Are you going to miss the mist chest?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
So the most missed chest the most missed chest in this map has a
it's the mist dress.
Mist dress.
M-I-S-T dress.
M-I-S-T dress is the most missed chest on this map, and it is literally right next to the boss.
So, prior to my run of this a couple weeks ago at Limit Break, one of the other community members who's not with us tonight, Ash, Lo-Fi Ashley, she and I sat down and we went through and figured out, of the chests that I pick up, what is everything. And it's been an ongoing thing that like half the time I don't seem to have the mistress. We don't know why. It just hasn't. Weren't sure which chest it was, and you know what? Why are we poking at this? The text goes by so fast. And then we figured out it's the one right next to the boss door.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be really funny when you miss it right now.
No!
I will die of laughter if you miss it right now.
I will not be able to talk for the rest of it because I will be laughing.
I will not commentate the rest of the run. I will be laughing.
I will be on the floor laughing.
But you guys have to pronounce one of the upcoming bosses.
Oh no. Was that on me?
Yeah, you missed Limit Break. And Haru's not here to help. Yeah, that's the other thing. My partner can do it very well and help to them at Limit Break. I'm not gathering her to get on mic just for her to pronounce a boss name either.
I just called the boss Tree Guy.
That's valid.
You're gonna unplug my mic for the next 2 minutes.
You got more than 2 minutes. Look, there's the mistress. Look, I got it.
Yay!
Now please equip it.
It's okay, Alfina. I promise I don't believe in you.
GG!
Yeah, I think you missed it. You should go back.
I know that I got that. Thank you. I'm good. What else to do? Oh, no, wait. Oh, no, that's not what goes there. That's what goes there.
I have to say, I don't think I've seen you use that before.
And then this becomes this. Okay.
RPG menus, gotta love them.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, it's a game where Santa Claus is kidnapped, and it's an RPG, so we fight Krampus.
Of course. Checks out.
Is this the final boss? No.
No.
Would you expect it might be? Maybe, but it is not.
Do I sometimes wish it was? Always.
Yes.
Always.
Often.
Not even occasionally, just always. Be nice to me?
It's
no.
like, but
Okay.
Krampus does at least have Santa Claus, so you know we're on brand.
We're getting there.
Okay, well, I can do that now. Okay. bottom row was not great.
Yeah, if we haven't made it clear, we go into every fight with we know how to do these fights quickly, but we are ultimately at the whim of what abilities we get in the bottom row. So there's going to be some improvisation no matter what we do.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which means sometimes the game says, no, you're not going fast, and we say, okay, game.
Yeah, some characters have like 6 moves you want, and you don't have the ability to set all of them, so you're just like, I'm gonna roll again. I guess I'm rolling again.
Rolling again.
Please just give me the moves. Yeah.
I mean, if you roll enough, you'll get the move, right?
Either that or Crystal's gonna die, so one of the two things happens.
Or both.
Will Crystal die before
Or
she
both.
gets the move we want? Possibly.
Yeah, both is always possible.
Yep.
That whole gif
favorite
of
is
both
when
both
you-
is good. Yeah, the game does that.
My favorite is when you get the move and then she dies.
Rude.
This game is the best troll in my life.
We gotta try harder if that's the
Yeah, I was
case.
about to say, I feel like that's a slight on what we're doing.
Yeah, we gotta try way harder.
Oh, I didn't have what I wanted. It's fine. I could do a couple things here. That.
Krampus getting frostbite kind of amuses me far more than it should for some reason.
So part of the reason that I set up that frostbite was because in the back of my brain I was getting ready to use Crystal and Cthulhu's Unite, which is fire and ice damage. So it created that situation where I was going to make sure it did even more damage because frostbite increases the next ice attack.
Gotcha.
There was a thought there.
Krampus is a friend now.
Yeah. Would you guys like to introduce the friend?
This is our good friend Yarlathotep.
Okay.
Or as I call him, Tree Man.
See, True Man
So
sounds
for-
significantly more Eldritch Horror.
For those of you who are familiar with Eldritch lore, Yarlathotep, that one I screwed up. Yarlathotep and Cthulhu are arch nemesis. So they both hate each other. So this is perhaps expected.
Yep. And you might expect a game called Cthulhu Saves Christmas to have the final boss be Krampus, who kidnaps Santa Claus, teaming up with Cthulhu's arch rival. You'd be wrong.
Of course.
Crystal, could we not?
So we're going to try to focus down the tree, generally speaking, and just kind of pray it works out.
No, I'm getting rid of Krampus. He does the single target hits harder.
Also,
fair
Asuka, I believe these two have lied to you about 20 minutes ago. You did see Chick Cthulhu. That is the ultimate between Baba Yaga and Cthulhu.
Is it really? I never paid attention.
Yes, that is correct. I was pretty sure that was the case, but I've been trying to see it the entire time. And I was like, wait a minute, I can just open the game up. So I have just confirmed with my game that you are correct. It is called Chick Cthulhu.
I learned something new today.
All hail Cluck Cluck and the power of Chick Cthulhu.
Who am I?
This is why, if you haven't played this game, you should.
Yeah.
This is one of many reasons why, if you haven't played this game, you should. You don't
Also,
have
the
to speedrun
soundtrack-
it, though you should. You should totally play it casually, though.
Say,
I think
it's
everyone should
usually on
speedrun.
sale for like $3 or something.
At max price, it's like 15.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's
Yeah,
like
it goes on
11
sale
anyway.
often.
Did it come down again for top price?
I'm pretty sure it's like 11. Well, 11 Canadian, so I don't know what that is. Like $9.99 for you.
Okay, so it's down to 10. There you go. So, yeah, they're not expensive games.
Also,
Christmas
this
is currently
music-
$11.49 Canadian. Sorry, go ahead.
Stop that.
I was just saying the soundtrack slaps.
Yeah.
And you can buy a version of this game that comes with the soundtrack.
Yeah, that's
So you can just listen to it. Which I also
if you
highly
like the
recommend.
if you like the Christmas remixes of this game, the wholly original soundtrack of This Way Madness Lies goes very hard.
I need that more there.
It's like Carol Bells / was it Christmas in Sarajevo from TSO. Definitely my favorite Christmas song. So I'm hearing this and I'm going, oh, this is a good choice. This is a very good choice.
We need some of this.
Also, I like the slightly trolly Canadian to American conversion of 11 Canadian dollars equates to 50 cents US. It's like, no, what you're talking about is the difference in shipping costs.
Yeah.
And you're not wrong.
I've shipped many things to Canada, and oh boy, I'm sorry.
No. Oh, that's fine. Okay. Nothing's wrong. It's just not great.
There were at least like 4 different moods right there.
Nothing's wrong. It's just not great. It's just the motto of this category.
If you aren't running the gamut of emotions in every fight, you're not doing this category right.
No, that's fair.
You are correct. I'm not doing this category.
I'm gonna do one of these. Oh, I do have I have Jolly. This is fine. I have Jolly Laugh.
Oh, you're fine.
We can always go back to Jolly Laugh strats.
I wish I was as convinced as you two are that this is fine.
Oh no, crap, you're right. I do not believe, Alfie, that will never work.
Okay.
Belief
So
is
you're
a
going
poison.
to Jolly Laugh down, said Krampus and an Eldritch Horror? You mad? Like, never work.
It shouldn't work. It's the real answer there. Do I have candy? I even have candy!
So what is this Jolly Laugh strat that we're hearing about?
Okay, so it started. We're gonna tell the story in order. Oh, I've got to get rid of Jolly Laugh though. Okay, it's fine. So a couple years ago now, I was running this on Christmas here on Hotfix. Oh look, they gave me Jolly Laugh back. They knew. And I reached a point that's looking very similar to what we see now, where things were just kind of going a little sideways. And I realized the idea that Jolly Laugh is reusable at this point in the game. So it's a very strong heal that I can just keep reusing on Belschnickel while poison damage just continues to tick away.
All right. I like it.
So,
In theory, they'll die eventually.
yeah.
Oh, there goes one.
In theory, it is a race between the self-heal and the poison ticks.
I like the flavor text for Krampus. I just noticed, like, no friend to Santa. It's like, yep, that's, yeah. Love it.
Yeah, for also reference for part of why we're giving Alpina such a hard time, the sane difficulty speedrun is literally half the length.
Yeah, you do the same amount of fights, but it is literally half the
Jeez.
half the time.
Is it just the amount of damage or lack of damage you do, or
Pretty much.
So
oh jeez.
I believe they also get I can you know what? I can load the game up and tell you what the difficulty does.
How many
if I
times?
remember correctly, they get like a significant health increase as well.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Sounds right.
Like,
And they deal more damage from the beginning. See, look, Jolly Laugh strats work.
Yep, Jolly Laugh works.
Like, this is low key become how many times can church or does church load up the game percent?
Yep.
It doesn't
You heard
actually,
it here first, GDQ. If you're ever in the face of an Eldritch Horror, just Jolly Laugh.
Just Jolly Laugh.
Laugh
So
Jolly, it'll work out.
one of the best things is after we found the Jolly Laugh strats, I was like, oh, well, what I need to do is just put Jolly Laugh into that menu right before we do the first fight, because you don't get to menu in between the two fights. Well, the problem is, yes, you can equip Jolly Laugh. You don't learn Jolly Laugh till in between the fights.
Oh.
Yep.
Unless you want to do random encounters, which are slow.
Yep. So we looked at that for safety purposes. We couldn't make it worth it. That's why it's like you're just hoping that you roll Jolly Laugh as well.
And because remember, kids, if you're running an RPG, the fast option is always just being lucky.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
So it does not tell me what specifically the differences are. I believe the enemies start off dealing more damage. I believe they have at least 25% more health.
We're missing stuff. I'm about to leave this map.
You're missing.
Yeah, you're missing a lot of stuff.
There's a reason that there are backup items, but yeah, let's not have to rely on those.
So this is the final map, and like everything here is important. There might be like one item that's not good, but like everything else is like stupid good.
If you were to borrow my notes for this section, I have where I basically list for myself what all of the chests are. The notes for this map that says chests, yes.
Valid.
I didn't want to list them all. Yes.
Just yeah.
They're good. Because of this is the last dungeon, this is where it starts giving you like all the OP stuff. The very important ones are
the most important ones.
I want to say.
Either I think you're right.
Dress, but I think it's a rod. It's a rod for Crystal, which will allow her to reuse
in this chest right here.
Yeah, this one right here. Please pick this up. It lets Crystal reuse the strongest healing magic, which is literally. I do not think it's possible to beat this next boss with it in a speedrun sense because we are so underleveled. Please do.
And we're probably because the game's been mean gonna play safe.
Yeah, I don't know if you pick that chest up in the same difficulty run, honestly.
Yes, you do.
I pick it up. I
don't know if I did.
Okay, well,
that's different. My beginner's guide says pick that one up.
I'll comment in chat.
Well,
chests,
look, the first
do the thing.
Well, look, the first thing I did was skip half the chests when I ran insane, so I don't know what to tell you.
I'm reading the wrong note. That's fine. Also, I like that the weapon that you pick up for Belschnickel here increases his XP gain.
It's really important.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, right before the final boss. It's really important.
Yeah, that's what cracks me up. Like, that's where that is.
Yeah, which, if you had guessed, the final boss would be the Ghost of Christmas Future from Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Congrats, and I don't know how you came up with that.
Sure, why not?
We have a boss fight with 4 of the 7 bosses we've run into so far. Form 8? Form 8?
Yeah, we haven't mentioned it yet. The Wings Cat is a heal bot, and we want that bot.
Yeah.
Yule Cat question mark.
Yule Cat is not my friend.
Yule Cat is unfortunately not our friend.
Stop it.
We are friend with chicken, and Cat doesn't like chicken.
Cat
That's
like
valid.
Yeah, I can do
did
this.
we mention the reason Baba Yaga joined the party?
No.
I don't think we talked about the story at all.
We've kind of ignored a lot of story off the beginning, and
Santa
then
gets kidnapped. Like, what more do you want to know? But
What
Baba
is
Yaga
plot?
joins because Baba Yaga never gets presents, and it's, and it's like kind of a screw you to Santa.
No.
Like, fine, whatever.
no. Don't mind me just like talking myself out of risky strats. It's fine.
We get the speed up though, which is always fun. Get more turns. More turns, good. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Crystal's the only party member who's doing any of this for good reasons.
Yeah.
I think Belsnickel is friends with Santa, right?
He is, but he thinks it's funny that Santa got kidnapped, and he intends to go tell him.
Look, valid.
I mean, I understand.
Agreed.
I invited my friends here. There we go. Okay, now the fight is actually going to be moving.
Yeah, and Baba Yaga's like, I never get presents. I'm going to rescue Santa so I can tell him off or something.
By this point in the game, we actually have seen Santa. He was in a cage.
Yeah.
And then we got him out of the cage.
Santa
and that
was in
didn't
a
fix
cage
Santa.
by Krampus, but we go by the text really quickly.
And that didn't
But
fix Christmas, so now we're here.
Santa is safe at this point, and then the Ghost of Christmas Future pulls us into the void anyway.
Yeah.
Which Cthulhu needs to do this to get his powers back anyway for the, next game that isn't going to happen and wasn't made first, so.
Of course.
Which you should also totally play, and they go on sale for like $1 as a duo pack with another amazing game that you should totally play. Look, if it's from this publisher, you should play it.
They make
so I think-
very good, don't take themselves too seriously, like fun
Play it at a
RPGs.
night or a
Highly
weekend
recommend.
RPGs. They're
Yeah.
also not like the ones that are requiring a lot of your time. Because I know all of us, we have a lot of great games out there to play and work on. And sometimes you just need that short little game as a nice refresher. These are those games.
Yep, this game casually is what, like 4 hours?
Oh, that's not bad at all.
I think, yeah,
5,
it was like
6.
3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Well-
This Way Madness Lies is like 6, 7, maybe 8.
But yeah, the point is they're all like good one. Here's a weekend. I played through it. I can move on.
Yeah, these are good. I want to play something that's fun and a bit goofy
Oops. Yeah. it's fine.
and like, have a good time in the weekends. Like, all of these games are excellent for that.
Everything you're saying is true, except it doesn't apply to Cosmic Star Heroine on length, because that one
True.
is like 15 to 20 hours.
That
But
is
it
their
still a
big
good-
one.
All the other things that were said are true about it. It's just the longer game of the devs.
Gotcha.
Well, if you like the shorter ones, then, maybe commit to the longer one.
True. And then question why the speed run is like the same length as this run here.
Yep.
We're getting close to time. Look, there's only 3 of them
speedrun
left.
Yep.
I I cannot believe you just said that.
Final hit is time, which doesn't have to be the Ghost of Christmas Future, but I don't know if I've ever seen it not be the Ghost of Christmas.
I have.
I cannot believe you said that with 3 enemies standing.
Yeah, I mean, nothing could go wrong. We haven't seen anything go wrong in this game.
Nope, not at all.
Part of it's I am playing like pretty safe strats that I'm like, eh.
I mean, look, if you survive, it's a good fight. That's how this category goes.
Yeah. If I was doing riskier strats, I'd be with you on that idea, but right now I'm playing pretty safe. This is I'm playing the strats of usually this is what happens after everything has gone wrong.
Ah, gotcha.
This means we get to see more chickening up.
Heck yeah.
And I mean, in all reality, the final boss was defeated in the fact that the menuing did in fact take place.
True.
This is very true.
I mean, we remembered the chest, we remembered the menus.
Yeah.
I mean, Crystal does actually have Unstoppable on right now, so, like, you're fine.
Crystal has Unstoppable. I'm basically only using Gentle Rain with her. I know I'm playing super safe, but
this is a
this game has been a little bit mean to me lately, and
It's a very long fight, too.
That's fair.
So, real quick, Unstoppable is a buff. If Crystal were to go down, she will instead be awarded 1 additional turn. And if her HP goes above 0, then she will stand back up.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So that little like circle going up and down over the heart for her, that's the indicator that she has Unstoppable.
I assume it's a Halo?
It's supposed to be, I think. I'm running out of abilities for people. It's fine.
And also, yeah, so we mentioned the Gentle Rain and how Athena's being very safe. You can see how healing 216 every turn when these characters' HPs are at like 300 is really strong.
Right.
It's not bad.
And then there was one.
Yep.
It's probably almost dead.
He's pretty close, actually. He's close enough I'm willing to do that.
Yeah.
Close enough for going for the insane strats.
Have you used Cthulhu yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, then, okay. Then you're not golden. I guess get away a few more turns.
We're not golden, but we're well set up.
Yeah. So we're coming up real close on time. I hope everybody's ready, because it always surprises me when it is.
I mean, I don't have time to look at the HP bars. I'm just throwing the abilities out.
GG!
GG.
We all survived!
I did it. I won. It's a super happy ending.
Love it. Oh, love it.
It's now Christmas. And look, we found a present and everything.
Aww.
And Cthulhu being like, do I have to go check on all these Persona people that we did? Which we only did one.
You just lied. Totally. Anyway.
Yeah, if you had actually done all of the stories to conclusion, which you can't actually do all of the stories to conclusion in one run, but all of the ones you do to conclusion will show up there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a Persona game.
Yeah. Man, thank you so much, for all 3 of you, for coming on here. Really quick, let everyone know who you are, where can they find you, and what are you playing?
My name is Alfina. You can find me at twitch.tv/Alfina. I play this game a lot randomly for things, but I also am looking for my next new speedrun, so there'll probably be lots of tried attempts coming up soon of random indie games. That's you too.
Yeah.
You go.
Okay. My name's Pessilus. That's Pessimist with an L on Twitch, and I got to start de-rusting for Spider-Man 2 that I'm running at SGDQ next month. So on that stream if you want to watch that.
Nice.
I'm Church. You can find me at twitch.tv/gamesdonequick. All right, bye.
You're not wrong.
True. But yes, thank you. Oh, go on.
I don't speedrun anymore. I stream when Mystery Tournament's on and I'm getting knocked out.
Fair. Well, yeah, thank you so much, all three of you, for showing up. That was such a fun run, and that's a chaos I absolutely love. Give GG's one more time to Alfina that wonderful run. In the meantime, as we set up for our final run, going back in time to a wonderful time on the TurboGrafx 16, which is super cool. You should head over to GamesDoneQuick.com right now because, Hello, friends, and welcome back to the final run of today's RPG-themed Express Lane. And we're just going to kick things off because we are going back in time to 1989. That actually rhymed. Sweet. Anywho, we are going into a 100% run of Neutopia with the ever wonderful Von Yvonne. So hello, friend. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you very much for having me here. I am very thrilled to show off my favorite speedrun game. It is Neutopia for the TurboGrafx 16 for the, all 12 of you that remember that console. It's a great run. I actually just did it recently for RPG Limit Break. That category was one that was much more difficult, and I will explain why. This is going to be a walk in the park by comparison. So,
Nice.
But it'll be a good time, and I'm happy to show off everything that this game has to offer, and literally everything, because we're doing the 100% category. So, if we are good, then I will go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. All right, so we're going to get some lore here. This is the evil wizard Dearth. He is beaming himself down into the middle of the night into the great palace in Neutopia, and he has kidnapped the Princess Aurora. And once the sun rises, that summons our hero. Everyone say hello to Jazeta. Jazeta is going to be our protagonist for the day. And he's going to have a little conversation here with the Temple Mother, who is basically, giving him the lowdown on what happened last night. Dearth has kidnapped Aurora. This is awful. And Jazeta needs to go and confront him. But in order to do so, he must collect the 8 medallions of wisdom from the wise men of past and affix them here in the temple, so that way we can open up that door that's behind her, which has in it a portal to the climactic castle on the North Pole, where Dearth is hiding, and that's where we will go fight him. But first, we got a whole bunch of things to collect, and the very first thing we're going to collect here is an item called the Book of Revival. What this does is it allows you to either get passwords, or if you were back in the day playing the TurboGrafx 16 and you had this massive peripheral that you could stick onto the multi-pin connector on the back of the console, you had what was called the file cabinet, which is essentially a very primitive memory card. But basically, you need the Book of Revival in order to continue in some way, shape, or form. We're going to pop in here real quick because we're just going to get a couple of kind of marathon safety items here. One of them is bombs, which we can get from enemy drops, but just a lot easier to grab them from here, because while we're here, we're grabbing the medicine, and that's arguably more important. In case things go a bit pear-shaped, we can refill health and not have to deal with, like dying and stuff. So, because we're going to keep this under an hour, and that will be fun. So where I am headed now, to explain kind of the overworld or overworlds of Neutopia, there are 4 of them. We do them in order. Right now we're in the land sphere. Next we will do the subterranean sphere. After that is the sea, S-A-E, sphere. And then finally the sky sphere. Now, what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to collect an incredibly important item. This is essentially going to be my main weapon for the game. This here is called the Fire Wand, and as the name suggests, it is a wand that shoots fire. And this is great because it allows me to attack enemies from a distance. This is going to be really important so I just don't get beaten up the entire game. Now, the run of this that I did for Limit Break was one where I basically skipped this item. It is not necessary to beat the game. However, it is incredibly useful. So we will be using it at every opportunity, but those opportunities aren't coming yet. What is coming up is an opportunity to kind of demonstrate as I run into him. I guess what I can demonstrate there is damage boosting. Every time you take a hit, you always move in the opposite direction that you're facing. We're going to use this to considerable benefit to get through certain tricky areas or to set things up for like boss fights and things like that. So damage boosting is an important part of the game. So I'll take this opportunity here to explain what exactly comprises the 100% category of Neutopia. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be grabbing all permanent items. We're going to be getting all of our sword, armor, and shield upgrades individually, of which there are 3 of each. And then we're also going to be getting all of the bomb capacity and life capacity upgrades. You get a life capacity upgrade every time you finish one of the crypts and grab a medallion, but there's actually 4 manual life upgrades that are in the game. We're only going to get 3 of them because the 4th one is unnecessary. We can't go past the max of the max, so only 3 of those are necessary to satisfy the 100% category. So anyway, as I was explaining, there are the 4 spheres of Neutopia, the overworlds, if you will. Each of them has 2 dungeons, or as they're referred to in this game, crypts. In all of the spheres, we are going to do the crypt that is meant to be done second. We're going to be doing that one first. And the reason being is that the items either in those crypts or on the way to those crypts are very useful, and we want to get those ASAP. So this is the wonder of the Fire Wand. It allows me to shoot little fireballs here and kill these enemies at a distance, and it's great. Now, this Fire Wand is going to get much more powerful as the game goes on, and I will explain how that works as we get to it. But right now, we're in Crypt 2, and we don't want to touch these guys. We want them to stay far away from us so that we don't take a whole lot of damage. And there we go.
I like that there's a lot of people in chat making the, hey, I bet that Fire Wand really makes this game easier to play.
It makes it incredibly easier to play. Yes, it was a great point of pain for me to not get it. And that pain was only, extremely exacerbated by my, quote, friends who took great delight in my misery. And so that was fun. But it also was fun because I had a great time with a bunch of really cool people, and we raised a bunch of money for the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and that's always awesome. So, yeah. So what I just grabbed here is the key. Every crypt has a singular key that is unique to it that you need to grab in order to unlock the door to the room where the boss is. So we've come all the way to the eastern end of this crypt, grab the key, and then we head all the way back to the southwestern part where the boss is. Now, you're going to see a lot of old men chained up in dungeons here. If they have nothing to give you, you can press the 2 button and completely skip all their dialogue. But if they give you something, then you have to listen to them talk, which is really annoying. But you know what? That's the way it is. So, now, one thing I will want to point out, especially for those of you that have maybe seen me run this game before, especially when I was grinding for PB and world record times, is that I'm actually playing on the North American version. So it's in English. This is slower than the Japanese version, and that is literally the only difference between the 2 versions. But the reason why I'm doing the North American version is A, I feel like it, and B, it has some funny and interesting dialogue that I like to show off when I'm doing a showcase for something like this. If I were doing a PB world record grind and whatnot. I would be using the Japanese version because, especially for 100% where you get more text boxes, it's probably like a good minute faster, which is significant. Yeah. So, but for this, it's okay. Even with that extra, there we go. Even with that extra time on there, we'll still be under an hour. Don't worry. Now, that item that I picked up from the enemy that was dropped is called a magic ring. That magic ring is going to come into play a little bit later on in this run, and it will be very useful, and we'll be using a few of them, actually. So, so we'll just table that for a little later.
Was that a guaranteed drop, or is that just random?
It is not. Certain enemies drop them, and we know which one's there. But here's our first boss. This is the golem, and I've already messed it up. This is going to be a 3 cycle. What you're supposed to be able to do is go in there, time it just right. You can actually destroy those parts that break away and assault the core directly. So we did it in 3 cycles, so it took an extra few seconds. Not a big deal. And also not very dangerous either, so we're good. All right, so we have our first medallion. And now that we do, we can get whisked back to the temple. We will affix it in the appropriate spot. And once you see there's kind of like 4 little pairs of slots here.
Yeah.
Once a pair is completed, then it will reveal a staircase that will take you to the next sphere. So once we collect, this next medallion, that staircase will open up and we will be headed to the subterranean sphere. Yes, oops, didn't need to take that damage. So, there's something else I was going to explain here. I forget. But we're having fun. So
yeah.
So Crypt 1 is going to be pretty easy, especially because I already have my first sword upgrade and I have the fire wand. So getting through it is not going to be terribly difficult, which is nice. We were talking about the drops. Yes. So the magic ring is going to be an item that will be very important once we get to Crypt 6, which is arguably the most difficult crypt in the entire game, no matter what category you're doing. And it's because there are these really nasty enemies in there that can be very difficult to fight properly without taking a whole lot of damage in the process. Now, what the magic ring does is it actually transforms larger enemies into smaller enemies and makes them much easier to kill. But what's even better is that the enemies that we transform in that crypt, they're once they get transformed, they are an enemy type that drops rings, and we're going to need several of them to get through the game. So it's a nice way to not only use an item, but then collect another copy of it right away, which is important because you can only hold 1 ring at a time. So being able to collect one shortly after using it, especially in Crypt 6, is critical. So
the rings are one use only?
Yes, they are.
Gotcha.
They are single-use items. Yeah, they are. What do you call it? Disposable or
consumable?
Yeah, consumable. There you go. All right, so we're gonna clear this out here, and the reason we came in here is this is our first armor upgrade. It is bronze. You can tell that because it's blue, and yes, so this is something I would normally get anyway, even in any percent, because we're not going to get our next armor upgrade until like halfway into Crypt 6, and the levels in between here and there can be very tricky, so we get that armor upgrade anyway, and it makes things good. So, gonna 1 room away from the boss here. I just gotta kill these guys, and then I'm gonna attempt a quick kill, and I need bombs to do it, so that was really nice. Oh my god, can all of them drop? Oh, they would all drop bombs. That would have been great. Okay, time to equip my bombs and come up here. And nope, I have screwed it up because I took damage here. Let's see if I can still do it anyway. Yeah? Yes, I still got it. Nice. Good stuff.
That was so cool.
Yeah, so that boss takes, so with the, so if I were to do that just with the sword, it would take 17 hits, but each bomb blast equals 4 sword stabs. So I basically do the 1 stab to get him up against the back wall, and then the 4 bomb blasts do the other 16 stabs, and then that's it. So There we go. So now we're on to the
Nice.
subterranean sphere. You can tell because there's like lava and stuff everywhere.
Of course.
But now there's another interesting thing going on here, and that's involving my fire wand. Now, the way that the damage increase or output of this fire wand works is it's based on my current health total, not my maximum. You noticed I was shooting little fireballs before. Well, what I'm going to be shooting now are going to be kind of these like rolling columns of flame. Well, at least they were until I got hit there, and you see them down to the fireball again. Now, I was able to do that because I had at least 8 full segments of life. Now I only have 7, so it gets downgraded in the meantime. Oh, what I'm collecting here is what's called the Moonbeam Moss. This is an item that lights up dark rooms in crypts. I will not be using this because I don't need to. It's kind of a waste of time for me. I am familiar enough with the layouts of all of the dark rooms that I just don't need it. I'm going to pop in here real quick just for a little bit of extra safety. It's not too big a detour. Now I'm going to grab a second bottle of medicine here just in case I need it. Nice and easy, out of the way, not dangerous to get. So, yeah. We're good there. So life management, especially in the later stages of the game, becomes very, very important. And having extra medicine in order to do that management can be honestly critical in some places because we need certain levels of fire strength in order to get through areas easily and to do a quick kill on an incredibly difficult boss. So that's a very useful thing there. So that's another example of static enemy movement. All of those enemies moving left initially, they do that 100% of the time. Some enemies have static movement patterns when you enter the screen, and some don't. So knowing which ones do and where they are is pretty useful for avoiding them. Now, it is June, which means that it is Pride Month, which means that, of course, we are going to get an item called the Rainbow Drop.
Nice.
So, yes, the Rainbow Drop is an item that allows you to traverse one tile wide gaps using this very colorful and rather gay rainbow bridge to allow you to walk over these areas safely. I will be demonstrating this very soon. In fact, you need it in order to get into this next crypt, which is just on the other side of that bridge we just saw there. Actually, no, I'm sorry. You need it to get through the first room of the crypt. Here we go. And you're going to see it right here. So you see that little kind of rainbow bridge that I'm standing on. Ooh, I will take that. All right. So now you see rooms. Yes. So now you see rooms get dark. And pretty much the only thing you'll be able to see in here is yourself, the enemies, and like certain items. Like if there's a treasure chest in the room, you'll be able to see that. But other than that, you won't be able to see anything else, which is which can make some of these rooms rather tricky. This was definitely a very grindy part of learning this speed run, is in order for me to get off notes, being able to get through these rooms and just literally have all the patterns memorized. So fun stuff. I could use the Moonbeam Moss, and in fact, there might be some rooms where I will, just to kind of show what's going on in there. But as far as me needing to use it, I will not be doing that. So, okay. I'm going to take a boost there. So that's kind of an example of the damage boost stuff. We're going to get our second armor upgrade now. This is the steel armor because it's purple. And this will be good for going forward. So again, there's 3 upgrades of each of the items, but in order to do 100%, you don't just need to get the strongest upgrade. You need to get each individual one in order to satisfy the category. So that's why we are doing that. Now, the difficult part about using the rainbow drop here in the bridge is that you can only exit the bridge either the way you came or the tile across from it. You can't go side to side. So sometimes it can kind of get you stuck. especially when you don't mean to use it. So that can be a challenge. Now, these enemies in here, these ghosts here, are really annoying because these are a class of enemy that do not take damage from the fire wand. You see, the fire wand does nothing to them. So you have to stab them with your sword. But what makes them even more annoying is that they can just like randomly disappear and you just can't do anything to them for a few seconds. What's even more annoying is if you grab one of those, you've seen them a couple times. They're these hourglass drops that stop time.
Yeah.
If you happen to grab an hourglass while a ghost, so here you go, I just grabbed one here, you see everything has stopped moving. If you happen to grab one while a ghost is in its disappeared state, it will stay in its disappeared state for the duration of the effect of the hourglass, which is roughly 20 seconds. So if you grab one of those and it's at the wrong time in a PB attempt, that is a massive time loss. So we don't like that. So yeah, not great. Oh, there's another ring.
Nice. And actually, there's
Couple
a
more. Oh, go ahead.
So, there was a quick question in chat asking just the purpose or money in this, or is there a purpose?
We will not be spending any money at all in this game. Money does not matter. Okay.
There we go.
Now, but I'll explain a little bit more about money and drops in a second. But first, I have to fight this very, very difficult boss. Whew, that was close. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that looked super tough.
Barely survived that one. My goodness. So that boss we affectionately refer to as Stunlock Earwig. And the way that that boss works is that normally it scoots around the room and it has a bunch of body segments and whatnot. The only segment of that boss that takes damage is its rear segment or its tail segment. However, all of the segments of the boss suffer from hit stun from your sword, even if it isn't actually like, quote, taking damage. So basically what you can do, as long as you walk into that room and on the left-hand tile of the door, and you walk straight up and you essentially pile all of its segments against the wall, you hit all of them, including the one that you need to, and it just dies instantly. Or it just dies very easily, I suppose. So that's how that works. So what this guy is here is he is going to be the first of our 3 bomb capacity upgrades. But what's also nice about getting the bomb capacity upgrade is that it also refills your bomb total. So this is very useful, especially in the 100% category, where from now on, we really don't need to worry about bomb drops at all because we're just going to keep getting refilled and having so many that it's just not going to be a problem. So, yeah.
Nice.
So into Crypt 3 we go now, where I'm going to need a lot of bombs. So the fact that I get a refill right before I come in here is rather convenient. But this also introduces an interesting type of room here. And this is one where I might actually use the Moonbeam Moss so I can show you what I'm talking about. Jumping Jazeta. I love that line here. It's one of the great things about running this in the English version is seeing some silly dialogue in this game. Here's our first shield upgrade. Now we can block the blue fireballs that enemies shoot out. That was rude. So, get you out of the way. All right, I hope I do this next room right. If I can, I have to take my word for it. I'm doing a very slick turnaround there to avoid that dagger block.
Very
there's
nice.
a very tight amount of space here. Okay, I'm going to use the Moonbeam Moss to show you what's going on in this room. There's that hole in the floor where these enemies will continue to pour out and pour out and pour out and pour out. That room can be a complete nightmare if you don't get it under control or if you don't get out of there very, very quickly. There's a few rooms like that in this game, and it makes for it makes for absolute nightmare fuel if you are not prepared. So these rooms actually should be dark as well, but the reason they're not is because the effect of the Moonbeam Moss, I think, lasts for like 4 or 5 rooms. This room might be dark when I go back into it. And it is, yeah. So I think it lasts 4 rooms. So I just know I have to go down there and push that. So yeah. So yeah, just don't jump to the left so I can get out of here, and don't just keep taking damage. Okay, good.
Like, don't jump to the left. Don't mind if I do.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, oh, what'd you save on it? Oh, okay. Here, jump to the left. Cool. All right, got you. I got you, Pooh. I'm glad I didn't grab that hourglass because that would have sucked. Here's the boss. We're going to manipulate this very easily. We're going to wait until it touches the top. Then we're going to come down, come together, pile you both together, kind of. Let me move to the left a little bit. There we go. Okay, cool. We've got a slight bit loose, but still did what we intended them to do. So we now have the second medallion from the subterranean sphere, which means we will now have passage to the sea sphere. Now, the sea sphere is where the difficulty in this game ramps up considerably. What's coming up next is going to be, well, first of all, collecting a lot of stuff, but then the next crypt I get to is Crypt 6, which in my opinion is easily the most tricky and difficult crypt in the game. So it is a good thing that we are getting some useful stuff on the way there. One of them is going to be this guy who's going to be our second manual life increase. Whoops. Okay. And then shortly after this, we're going to come over here and we are going to get our second bomb capacity increase. Now I have 16. This is going to be plenty. All right.
Oh.
Now in a few screens, we're going to get it's a necessary item, so we get it in any percent, as if we wouldn't anyway. But it is also one that is, especially for speedrunning, very, very, very useful. But in order to get there, we've got to hope that we don't get trolled by some enemies that we need to kill in order to open the way. So I want to come here and I want to go like this. And you're dead, and then I need you to just pop out and die. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, that worked.
For a second, I was like, what are you aiming at? Oh, they're sticking in the water. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, who likes to hide underneath my fire and be difficult sometimes. So this gentleman here is going to hook me up with the Falcon Shoes. Now, you need the Falcon Shoes in order to enter Crypt 6, but, oh, by the way, they also double your movement speed. So this is very, very nice, especially as we're going to be getting into areas of the game which are very tricky. So having the extra, alacrity with which to dodge enemy attacks and whatnot is very handy. So, yeah.
While you're doing that, I have a quick announcement for people.
Oh, sure.
Awesome. So, I don't know if y'all have heard about the SGDQ ambassadors, but you can get ready for Summer Games Done Quick 2025 by checking out our SGDQ ambassadors. All throughout the month of June, they're going to be supporting Doctors Without Borders, and you can join and support them as well by joining each ambassadors community in the lead up to SGDQ. So, best friends in chat, you should be putting !SGDQ ambassadors in that chat to check out that full schedule. And there are some really cool people that are ambassadors and doing some really cool things already. So you should check that out.
Indeed, you should. All right. Into Crypt 6 we go, where one of the enemies that makes this very, very difficult, we already got an introduction to, and those are those legally distinct Wizrobes who are truly awful for several reasons. One of them is that their magic shots do a whole lot of damage. The second thing is that their magic shots also nullify our fire shots. So when it comes to, it's not like, your standard fighting game where if you throw, both of you throw a fireball, they connect and then they and then they both disappear. Oh no, their shots go through and destroy yours. So
jeez.
it's really not fun to fight them. Now these little kind of like skeleton armadillo things, these are another example of enemies that will only take damage from the sword, or more importantly, ones that will not take damage from the fire wand. So we do have to fight them up close. All right, now in a couple of rooms here, I am going to demonstrate the power of that ring that I got. First, we need to bomb open this wall. Then we need to equip this ring. And we need to get in here. Now, this next room is going to have 4 of those wizard enemies in it. Until it doesn't, because I use the ring and then they become these slugs. But with these slugs, there are special ones that we're looking for that we refer to as slug homies. And slug homies are the ones that drop magic rings. So convenient that the enemies that we convert from those wizards are ones that can give us rings back. And of course we didn't get one because it's a marathon or it's a showcase. So why would I?
Of course.
Why would I get what I need? So anyway, that is fine. There is another room in this crypt where it is even more important for us to have that ring to use it. The good thing is that we will have more potential slug homies to connect with on the way there. So we still have an opportunity. If not, then I'm going to be using those potions because I will absolutely need them because the room where I'm going to be fighting another 4 wizards or potentially 4 wizards is extremely dangerous. So we don't like that. So, but instead we have these wish.com tonberries that we have to fight in the meantime.
I love that.
These things are really annoying because as they bounce when they bounce horizontally, you see they kind of float and they bounce up and down, and they can actually go over your fireball shots or your sword stab if you don't happen to have the fire wand. Ask me how I know. So yeah, they can be very annoying. All right, come on. Where is my slug homie? Where is... I need a homie. And he's gotta be a little green slug. Okay, I still don't have it yet. This is potentially problematic. All right. One more chance to get some rings before we have to get into that room where I will be doing a lot of combat that will be of the face-wrecking variety. I am now below 4 segments of health, which means that I have now the weakest form of fire. You see, it's this fireball that just comes out and then just like splits as soon as it either connects or gets to the end of its shot. So this is a problem. Please, slug homie. No, come on.
Slug homie, why?
Oh, slug homie, please. You're my last hope. And I didn't get it. Okay. So this is going to be awful. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and use this now. And then we're just going to need to kind of like just brute force our way through this.
All right, chat, send some energy.
Yes. So what you can't see, in fact, you know what, I'll use it here so you can see what I'm dealing with. You see, I've got this rectangle of blocks in the room that forces me all the way to the outside of the room. Yeah. So when it comes to maneuvering around these guys, it's really difficult. But this is actually going really well. So I can't really complain. Oh, please stay there. Yes. Okay, good. That went way better than it normally does. Now, the reward for doing all of this is we now have the strongest armor in the game, which is very nice. So that's good.
I like how it doesn't say like the type of metal. It just says strongest.
It is the strongest armor. It is the strongest, yes. The material it's made from is inconsequential. Just know it's stronger than anything else in the world.
Oh, fair.
And we don't ask any further questions.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So, yes. So we're actually getting pretty close to the boss of Crypt 6, which, if I am not able to get the quick kill, the timing on it is pretty precise and it's rather tricky. If I cannot do it, this is probably the most annoying boss to fight in the entire game. So let's hope I get it. All right. This room sucks because I have to fight these wizards and there's turrets. Oh, and I just stepped in the stairs and didn't mean to. Okay, cool.
Oh, no.
All right. Well, it's okay. Here we go. Yep. Take that fire, take it, and take some more. And you can have some, and you can have some more. and you can die. Perfect. Okay, here we go.
It's like a turtle service.
Okay, well, I kind of got it. I got it. So the object is to try to get in between the heads and the body and just bounce the heads against the wall so that it can't return to the body kind of like this.
Oh.
I was trying to shoot. Okay, I now need to kind of be a little bit careful. I was trying to get all three of them piled up together at once so that I could kill that very easily. I was hoping for a homie there. That's okay. The next time I need a ring won't be until Crypt 8, which is a little later. So the fact that I don't have one right now is fine. Oh, but you see how that room laid out there. After you beat the boss, there's turrets, there's slugs you have to go around. So it is very possible to beat that boss and then die, which is great. Oh, by the way, that last boss we refer to affectionately as Poverty Trinex. So yeah,
beautiful.
That's who that is. Yes, indeed. All right. So what's happening right now is a very, very special phenomenon, and that is the fact that I now have at least 12 full segments of life. And when you do, then you have what we like to refer to as the good fire. This is the strongest form of the fire wand. It is a rolling column that does not stop. It moves much faster, and it does a whole lot of damage. Now, unfortunately, I have exactly 12 segments of life. So if I take any damage at all whatsoever, until I refill my life, that good fire will be gone. So we don't want that. So this item that I'm getting here is the next upgrade for my shield. This, as far as the 100% category goes, is the most annoying item to get because it's the steel shield. As you can tell, because this one's red.
Of course.
But this one is just out of the way, very annoying. Now I can block red fireballs. That's what it does. Oh god, that guy almost hit me.
Ooh.
That would have been bad. So if he does, it's not the end of the world. It's just having the good fire for Crypt 5 makes it much faster. In fact, having the good fire for everything going forward makes things much faster and much easier. So, for example, this screen, where I would normally have to weave in and out of this stuff to get around these guys, instead I'll just throw out a bunch of good fire and look, everything disappears. It's rather lovely. So we like the good fire very much. All right. Now, what I'm about to do here is a little interesting thing. It's unique to Crypt 5. This here is what I refer to as a micro crypt, and you'll see what I mean once I'm done with it. Oh, shoot. There goes the good fire. Once I'm done with it, which will be very shortly. So I killed those enemies. I come up into here. I talk to this old man who's chained up. Now, remember I told you that you could skip their dialogue if they don't give you anything. Well, what this guy is actually giving me is the entrance to Crypt 5. This is the only crypt in the game where you have to do something like this in order to reveal the entrance. If you go to that screen where it would normally be and you haven't talked to this guy, the floor is just empty. There's nothing there. So you have to talk to him first in order to reveal it. So now that we've done that, now we can get into Crypt 5. Okay, I really hope I pick up a cherry, which is an enemy drop that refills one segment of health, because that's all I need in order to get back to good fire status. Just get out of my way, please. Thank you. And then I can start burninating everything with much greater ease. All right. Get out of my way, if you wouldn't mind. Here we go. All right. Got to come up here.
It's a marathon run. Of course I'm going to get in the way.
Yes. Oh, that's right. I still need a ring. So let's see if we find a slug homie here. Oh, God, I found a cherry and then I immediately took damage.
Nice.
That is lovely. Yes. Oh, my goodness. I hate everything. All right. And I took more damage, so now it's even worse. Okay. Hello? Oh, another hourglass. Thank you. Oh, that's right. I forget exactly what the pattern is in this room. I'm actually going to light this up. Mostly because I do normally just go around the edge. I don't need to worry about it. But I want to see if I can see if we can find a homie here. Come on. Where are, oh my goodness. Really? There you are. Thank you. All right. Now I have my ring for Crypt 8. and we can rejoice. All right. Taking a trip over here to the east side of the crypt to grab a couple of things. The first is going to be after I get through this room here, which has 8 enemies in it, which is a lot and very annoying. You can get out of my way.
Oh, yeah.
You can just get away from me, and I'll just go ahead and stab you while I can't throw fire at anything else. Oh, and more damage. Cool. Oh, cool. There's a cherry. I need another. Can I get another? Cherry drops are not very common, so kind of calling for them is a fool's errand because they're rather stingy. So relying on health refills to get through things in the game is not very smart, just because it very rarely happens. All right, so whatever. I'm resigned to not having the good fire. That's okay. I don't need it for much of anything else in this crypt anyway.
Makes sense.
So now I have my second sword upgrade. So let's see here. We've gotten 2 sword, 2 shield, and all of our armor upgrades. We just need a shield and sword upgrade for the rest of the way, and then we're good. And then once we clear this room, we can push a block to go up top, and that's going to give us our key, and then we'll fight the boss. Right.
I love how it's like you with these very dark rooms or just other people that run rooms where it's like, yeah, we're supposed to have insert thing here to actually see, but nah,
Right.
I don't need to. It just fascinates me how much like you have that memorized and the others have their stuff memorized.
Well, when I did this run for Limit Break where I was not allowed to get the fire wand, in order to get that Moonbeam Moss to light up rooms, you need the fire wand to access that. So I was forced to skip the Moonbeam Moss in that run, which if you're doing an any % run at, at world record level, you would skip it anyway. But in this case, for a marathon run, I didn't have a choice because of the category that I was doing. So yeah, I had to make do. All right. So, this crab, when it gets up to the top, it's either going to move left or right. We want it to move left for an easier setup for this quick kill. Let's see here.
Rude.
Yeah, that last one was too late. Okay, there we go. Had to do a little extra at the beginning of the second cycle. Not too bad. So yeah, I could either stab that with my sword 16 times or feed it 3 bombs. I prefer the bombs.
Yeah, that sounds a little bit quicker.
Yep. So now we have our second Medallion of Wisdom from the Sea Sphere, which means that we are now going to access our final sphere of the game, which is the Sky Sphere. And you can tell because look, all the clouds. It is quite lovely. It's islands in the sky. It's very cool. Now, before we really get into doing all the stuff we need to do in here, we're going to take a quick little detour over here to... here we go. Whatever. We're going to do a quick little detour here to come in here, and this is going to be our final bomb capacity upgrade. So that satisfies... We don't really need these bombs, but it's just to satisfy the category. Now, these wings that I've been collecting throughout the game, I'm going to go ahead and use them only one time, and it takes me back to the last place that I've saved, which is, considering I haven't done any save points yet outside of the temple, it just brings me back to the temple. So it just saves a little bit of walking back. Just a little time save. So now we're going to be on our way to Crypt 8, and Crypt 8 is going to be interesting for a couple of reasons. First of all, it is where we will confront the final boss of the game, but it's also where we are going to get an extremely broken item that is going to make the rest of this run very, very easy. Much easier than it would be if I didn't have it, I think is the best way of putting it. So
makes sense.
We're going to grab that ASAP because we're speedrunners. So yes.
Of course.
I'm just tanking all this damage from these things because I know I'm going to be getting a refill here shortly. So I am not too worried about stuff. I'm going to step on this staircase and go hurtling into the sky because that's naturally how stairs work.
What?
Oh, God, I almost got bumped back into the stairs. That would have been slightly embarrassing. It would have just taken me back to the previous screen, which is really not a problem. So, yeah. Here we go. Let's get these Grimers out of the way, or just let me in here. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and use this last potion right now because this here is going to give me 2 potions.
Oh.
The double one. So,
nice.
So this I'm going to want to have for safety in Crypt 8 because, and I'll explain once I get to the boss because that's where I would really want to have it if I need it. But again, we're just going to truck a bunch of damage here because we know we are going to do another refill coming up shortly. And this is something I will do. This is something I'm only doing because I'm doing it for a showcase. If I was doing a PB attempt, I would be skipping what I'm about to be doing here. But I want to do this anyway because, again, Crypt 8, namely its boss, can go very, very wrong. And if it does, it's not good. So we're going to pop in here. We're going to ask to hear the password. We're going to save and quit, essentially. And the reason why I'm doing this is because when I reload my game, I have full life. So now I am going to want to be very careful with the damage that I take because I have the good fire. And I want to keep it for as long as I can because it makes getting through this next crypt a lot easier and faster if I have it. So I'm going to throw that at you. I'm going to throw that at you. And of course, you hit me. That's rude. So let's see how long we can keep this here. I was able to take that one hit because now I have 13 segments of life. Oh my God, and now I have 11. All right, well, this stinks. All right. This crypt got a lot less fun now. Oh, well. Maybe I get a cherry, please? See, here's the thing. If I had the good fire, I'd be able to throw this fire through these tentacles here and assault that enemy. But because I don't have it, he's just going to stay on the other side of them and completely troll me and make my life not fun. This room here, in fact, oh God. Oh, yes. Do I have it? No, I don't. So I've got like a fractional amount of life less than 12. So I will need another cherry or use a potion to get the good fire. Having the good fire is really useful in this room because it allows me to just throw a bunch of fire at this stupid bat that is firing back at me, and I don't like him, so I want him to die quickly.
That specific one.
Instead, we're just going to bully his friends, and there we go.
Huzzah.
Huzzah. All right. These guys can be really annoying. The good thing is that even if they move rapidly, they only move rapidly laterally. Their movement vertically is, as you can see, it's rather shallow. So if I'm standing above or below them, it's pretty easy to dodge them or anticipate their movement so that I don't get hit. This is another one of those rooms where there's a hole in the floor and enemies just pop out endlessly. It's very horrifying, and we don't deal with that. But what we do deal with is this item that I'm about to get right here. This is the Bell of the Sky. Now, what the Bell of the Sky does is a whole lot of awesomeness. If you're in a room where you either need to kill all the enemies in the room or push a block or some cases do both in order to open the locked door, you can just ring the Bell of the Sky instead and the door opens anyway. It's an override switch. And it's basically going to just trivialize the rest of the crypts for the rest of the game, save for the bosses. You also need the Bell of the Sky in order to get the strongest sword, which is not in here. It's in the actual Sky Sphere itself. So we want to get this as quickly as possible so that way we can get that strongest sword on our way to Crypt 7. But yeah, so rooms where you would normally have to do tricky combat, push things around and whatnot, we're just going to ring that Bell of the Sky and make our lives a whole lot easier instead. So like, yeah, would I have to kill that guy, push a block in here? Yeah, no thank you. We're just going to ring this. Kill all these guys? I will pass on that. We'll just ring the bell, open the door instead, and make life a whole lot easier. Yeah, it's pretty neat. This guy doesn't give us anything, so yep, not interested. Sorry. I got a princess to save, buddy. No time to listen to your jibber jabber. All right.
Respect.
Are you going to cooperate? You are not, so we're going to ring the bell instead. These skeleton enemies are another class. They're in that class of enemy that do not take damage from the fire wand. So I would normally have to fight him with my sword instead. But considering that, and those enemies move rather quickly and erratically. So the less I have to deal with them, the better. So, all right, we got our key. Now, the bell in case you're wondering, the bell of the sky does not work on the door to the boss. So you still need to collect the key. But for all other doors, the bell of the sky does its thing. So,
Yeah,
including here, where it's going to make this staircase appear.
Nice. It's like I love all of the little like enemy designs in this game. They're so
Yes.
like they're so cute. They're so original. Or like even if it's like a borrowed concept, it puts its own spin on it, and it looks amazing.
I think one of the things that I really like so much about this game is the enemy sprites and how colorful and vibrant and fun they are. They're very expressive, and it's just a neat little, little part of this game. All right, so coming up here is going to be the boss. This boss is. I'm going to do a very consistent quick kill, but it is rather precise. I think I got him. And there he goes. Good.
Nice. Oh, that was
Yes.
cool.
That was indeed. That boss is easily the most difficult boss in the game to fight casually, because what he does is that golden puma mask that he was in, that opens and closes. He floats around the room. When he does open it, like your only opportunity to really attack him, he shoots those fireballs in all 8 directions. So it's incredibly hard to get close enough to do damage to him and avoid taking damage of your own at the same time. So to be able to do that quick kill is really, really, really important. Now, if you're wondering, because I was talking about the run I did where I didn't have the fire wand, well, how did you do that without it? What I did was I came into Crypt 8, I got the Bell of the Sky, I used the wings to bounce out of there, went and got the strongest sword, came back into Crypt 8, and used that to kill the boss just because it does so much more damage than the sword that I would have had otherwise. And even still, the setup to... what am I doing? I can just take damage here. The setup to do the quick kill on that boss with the sword is rather precise. So the fact that I don't have to worry about that is really nice. So that boss that I actually fought there, that was Dirth, the evil wizard that stole the princess, but it wasn't actually him. It was just his illusion. We are meant to believe that we have killed him, only to get into that room right after him and be told that it was essentially just a mirage, essentially. So we still have to confront Dirth for real, and we'll be doing that shortly. But first, I'm going to come here and I'm going to get my final manual life upgrade. And so the maximum health, the maximum that you can have is 16 segments of health. I'm going to get another one here once I finish Crypt 7 that will give me all 16 that I can possibly have. So grabbing the last one it doesn't actually do anything for you. That's why we don't consider it as necessary for the 100% category. This, however, is necessary. This is the strongest sword. You saw I needed the Bell of the Sky in order to reveal this staircase. The strongest sword does a ton of damage, and it is the only weapon, it is the only method, I should say, of doing damage to actual Dirth, to the final boss. So it is a required item. But these enemies, just melt to this sword. It's very nice. So having the strongest sword now reduces the or kind of diminishes the importance of the good fire, because this thing just does ridiculous damage in its place. So, and also you'll notice the actual sword itself is longer. The sword stabs are actually longer than the sword I had before, so now I have a little extra stabbing range too, which is nice. So, so that's good. But yeah, but Crypt 7, because we're entering it with the strongest sword, the strongest armor, and the Bell of the Sky, is this dungeon is ridiculously easy to get through, which is great because we're getting close to the end of the game, and we'd like to have a nice little kind of a nice little breather
just
here.
A little chill, relax.
Yeah, a little chillax and chillax and dungeon here. There is one room, however, that, especially if you don't have the Moonbeam Moss, is rather complicated, but it's not too. Oh, whoops! I already have the bell equipped. So not killing these guys. We're just gonna get through here. Hole in the wall or hole in the floor room. Very scary. No thank you on that. We're coming up here because this room has the key.
And actually,
but we also have the good. Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, since we're getting actually close to the end, I have one more little announcement to fit in here. And that's if you want to catch up on all the past Hotfix shows, any special events, or the marathons for GDQ, you can do so. Head over to youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick. After Vonnie is done, you stay here until Vonnie is done.
Very important.
Exactly. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hello from the past. You should like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, stay up to date with GDQ, and just watch us live over at twitch.tv/GDQ. Yeah.
Indeed you should. All right, so key get, and now we are just going to motor through the rest of this crypt here. Whoops. I already have the bell on again. We are going to give another shout out to the Rainbow Bridge here. You see it in all of its rainbow glory as the screen pauses while I use the Bell of the Sky to get through it. All right. You're going to die because I don't want to deal with you. I'm going to toss a bomb at this wall and come back to that later. And the reason why is because we have to take a detour here. Look at all these little enemies cheering me on from their seats in the stadium. Yeah, they literally can't get to me unless I go and get them.
And that guy was running late too.
Yes. Yeah, that guy was, he got stuck in traffic. Oh my God, please die. Thank you. So now we have the strongest shield. And yeah, look at them. They're like, yay, go, Jezeta, go. So now we have the strongest shield, which blocks those wizard shots, which is great because I'm never going to see any more of them for the rest of the run. So this shield, as far as the practical use for me in the run, is literally nil. Now, what's great is as we lead up to the boss here, we're going to use the bell once. We are going to go ahead and use the bell twice. And just because we enjoy it so much, we're going to use it a third time. Nice. And all these rooms that would kind of be like a gauntlet before you get to the boss, we just basically skip everything. Speaking of the boss itself, here he is. He's big, he's scary, but don't blink, because beating him is as easy as 1, 2, and 3, and that's the power of the strongest sword. Like I said, it does a whole lot of damage. So it completely trashes that boss, which is great, and that's why we do the 7th crypt, crypt number 7, second in that sphere, because it's just very easy to get through. All right, so with all 8 medallions now affixed or about to be affixed in here, that blue door with the bird on it is going to disappear. There is going to be a teleporter that will open the way to the teleporter, and that will take us to the climactic castle where we would confront Dearth once and for all. Now, I'm going to go serious here because I want to kind of concentrate on what I'm doing. I'll explain how this box works afterwards, but I also want you to listen to the music here. It is really, really good. Back to go ahead. 5 stabs here. There we go. Nice done.
That is a solid track.
It really, really is.
Ooh.
So the way that boss works is that normally it can appear in one of 6 places in the room, either top, middle, right, or bottom. Left, middle, right on either the top or the bottom. But as long as you do not move to either side, it will always appear directly above you and below you in alternating fashion. So we manipulate its movement that way. All right. So we're going to get into the temple here. There's going to be essentially a yes. Hail to the conquering hero, whatnot. When the screen goes black here, that is time. That's going to be in about 15 or so seconds. So be ready on that one. And where are we at? Yep, we are going to be under an hour, which is great. Get ready, get ready, get ready, and time.
Jeez.
Alrighty,
that's so cool.
And thank you. And that is Neutopia 100% for the TurboGrafx 16. It is, and Oscar, I'm glad you mentioned the sprites in the game. Obviously, we mentioned the music there. It's very colorful. It looks great. The music, the soundtrack is really good. The gameplay is actually rather challenging. Obviously, I speedrun this game, so I can do it fairly well. And but otherwise, as far as a casual game to play, it is a lot of fun. So if you do like this, this top-down adventure things, games like this, a la Zelda, I definitely recommend this. Pretty easy to emulate. It is it is on the TurboGrafx 16, the mini, the consoles that they were doing a few years ago. This game is on there as well, and it's just a lot of fun. And I highly recommend that you play it because it's very cool. So yeah, but we did it in under an hour. I think my PB for this is it's like a 50 minutes. It's like 50 minutes and 30 something. Oof. So, but we did it. But I mean, we did it in English for a showcase, so it was going to take longer, and that's fine. But it took less than an hour, so that's what's good. So yeah.
And I love the fact that we get to show off a run that this is your run. It's something so beloved by you.
This is my baby. You will notice that I didn't have any commentary joining me, and that's because really nobody else runs this game. So as far as anybody else to really give insight as far as their experience with running the game, if you find them, let me know.
Well, it's like your knowledge is just mind-blowing.
Yes. Thank you. I mean, I've been this actually. So how I got into this game was back in 2000. Gosh, either 17 or 18. I think it was 17. I did this. I picked this game up and did a 12-hour challenge with it. And over the course of a weekend, I learned the any percent category for this game and just kept grinding it. And I got world record from the existing one that was 5 years old, and started doing it for marathons, and everybody loved it. And there was a whole bunch of inspiration memes that came out of it. I don't know what that's all about, but yeah. And then it kind of just took on a life of its own. And then everybody, because here's the thing, the TurboGrafx 16 is a console with which very few people have personal familiarity. But it's one that I actually had. In fact, I have mine sitting on the shelf back there. It's one that I had growing up, and this actually the cartridge that I'm using here, or the Who card, I'm sorry, is the one from when I was a kid.
Ooh, nice.
So yes, so I come by my love for this game honestly. I can say I am an OG fan of this game. So, but yeah, it's just it's a great game. It's delightful, and if you want to learn more about it, hit me up. I'm happy to extol the virtues of Neutopia at any opportunity I get, like on this lovely GDQ Hotfix show that you invited me on, and I want to thank you very much for this opportunity, Oscar, because this was a lot of fun. I had a great time.
Thank you for being on here. And you, Vani, you are such a sweetheart, and you are absolutely beloved by so many people. Please tell those that might not be as familiar with you, who are you, where can they find you, and what are you currently playing? Aside from taking a break now that RPG Limit Break is
Oh my God, yes. So yes, I am Von Yvonne. You can find me at twitch.tv/Von Yvonne. I mean, obviously, I play this game and stuff like it. As far as speedrun grinding, that's something that I've kind of put on the shelf for now. Instead, I'm doing a lot more casual stuff, things like roguelikes, randomizers. I play a lot of Civilization on my channel, so if you dig that kind of thing, you get that content there. I play a lot of Balatro on my channel, so if you like that too, you'll see plenty of that. But yeah, and I also have awesome dogs that I bring on to my stream often, and will say hello. In fact, I've got one right here. Do you want to say hi? Come here, buddy. Come here.
Yeah, you should check out Bonnie's stream. He's got a puppy cam.
Oh, he sure is. He sure is. This is Odin, and he's a very good boy. And he actually was sitting here on this red chair behind me the whole time. He was my audience, and he's a lovely pepper. So so if you want to see dogs, even some cats too, on my stream, that's always a great selling point too. Is seeing some very cool animals. So yeah. Oh, in fact, you know what? Here comes another one. Are you gonna come right up to me?
So Bonnie's stream is a good one.
Yes. Hold on. Come here.
Oh.
Okay. Hold on.
Pause.
Yes. We even have kitties too.
His kitty.
This one is Blackjack, and he's a very sweet boy, and he loves to be picked up. Don't mind the struggling noises you heard before. He's a very happy and cuddly kitty. So and he's got these perfect mittens. Look at those mittens.
They're so cute.
They're absolutely exquisite. So yes. So if you like chill vibes, casual gaming, the occasional speed run, and cute animals, twitch.tv/Von Yvonne, you will not be disappointed.
Yeah. Everyone, give GG's one more time to Von Yvonne and the wonderful animal crew. That was such a fantastic Neutopia run, and even Freya came on to my lap for puppy solidarity.
But, nice.
But unfortunately, friends, that is the end of today's episode of Express Lane. But it's okay, because if you missed out on Express Lane or Hidden Heroes before it, we got you covered, because just stay tuned, stay right here, and we will just replay both shows right after this. So watch that, and then, of course, tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern for Crosshair, followed by Speedruns from the Crypt. So until next time, I'm Oscar424, and this is Freya. We'll see you in the Express Lane. Bye.
Take care, everyone.